Good afternoon and welcome to the Athletic Memorial Building. I'm Eric Pate along with Kyle Collison and Ryan Elke. And we are here for the Hawks Invitational. It's Henry Ford College Hawks Wrestling, and we're just happy to be with you. Again, Eric Pate, play-by-play, but I got these color guys that I'm going to rely on because the Hawks Invitational includes a lot of great teams, Kyle. And let's start with the Hawks. What do we expect from our Hawks today?
The Hawks are already off to a great start. I mean, we got the Hawks Invitational here tonight. We got a couple guys going on. Matt 1 at 125, and Matthew Burns and Christian Gerber. We've got 7 different teams here today, man. It's going to be a lot of great action.
And Ryan, what are your thoughts about some of the other wrestlers that are coming in, and also some of the Hawks that you know about?
Honestly, I'm just excited that we have the opportunity to get here and wrestle. First match we have 2 Henry Ford guys going against each other. But able to see different styles of wrestling, get to see people that aren't in your own practice room. So that's a great start.
All right, as Ryan just said, we have 2 Hawks going against each other. Fellas, talk about this matchup.
Well, this one's going to be a fast-paced match. You got 2 smaller weight wrestlers where obviously when you see the heavyweights, you're going to see a lot of tie-ups and things like that. I think we're going to see a fast-paced, high-action match, and we're going to see who's really going to be able to implement their game.
Okay, who are these 2 gentlemen that are on the mat right now?
Christian Gerber, he is in the green bracelet. He's up 2-0 at the start. Matthew Burns, the freshman, he's in the red ankle bracelet, and he's on bottom right now. You see Gerber just working for that, trying to get that chicken wing on top.
Well, guys, again, looking forward to it. It's been a while since I've even written about wrestling, and I was telling the athletic director, Rochelle Taylor, that. But isn't it a rarity to see 2 teammates wrestle in an invitation?
For a tournament style, it's not that rare because you're just trying to get all your wrestlers into the bracket, get them as many matches as possible. What you're going to see in a match like this is
nice double leg.
You see a great double leg by Christian Gerber there. He's up 4-1 right now. But this is what you've been seeing in practice all year from these 2. It's just that they love beating up on each other, but now it's no holds bar, no more working on moves. Doing your best moves against your teammate.
And so folks out there are checking us out on the Henry Ford College live stream or YouTube, where you can just punch in Henry Ford College and it'll pop right up. You need to understand this is wrestling, not wrestling. Okay, this is not the WWF or WWE.
I can tell you all about the wrestling.
Oh yeah, I see that face mask. And we're also practicing all our COVID protocols. Each one of the guys, Kyle and Ryan, including myself, we have our mask right and ready. Doing the COVID protocols that Henry Ford College expects. Talk to us about what's going on here on mat number. I think we got mat 2 here.
2. So Christian Gerber, he has his single leg in, and now he's working Burns' arm out to try to get that
ride time as well, right?
Yes, getting ride time. If he accumulates, has over a minute at the end of the match, he gets an extra point. Well over that at the moment. It looks like now he's cradling Burns up. See, he's got his leg hooked, he's got the head hooked, and now he's just trying to work to turn him over.
Oh, trying to get that shoulder to the mat. We might have a pin.
There you go. Christian Gerber with the pinfall, 224 over Matthew Burns.
Okay. What's happening here, guys? I think we
might have another pin almost on mat 1 as well. Trying to drive that shoulder to the mat, get his back flat.
And if I think those are 2 wrestlers from Muskegon on mat 1, and so we're going to keep close eye as you expect, folks out there on the Henry Ford Hawks. But we've got 2 mats going. It's the Hawks Invitational here at the Athletic Memorial Building. I'm Eric Pate, along with Kyle Collison and Ryan Elke, and I'm glad these guys are here, so that we can really give you a good insight and a good look at what's happening.
Right now, Alex Cantu of Muskegon, he's up 6-0 over Richard Ostrander, again, of Muskegon Community College. And it looks like Alex, he has that chicken wing set in. He's looking for the pinfall right here, and there he gets it. 1:35 into the first period.
Alex. 2 quick pinfalls, man. He really controlled the top. He had his ride time and really was just imposing his will upon his opponent. And again, another team versus team matchup, but I mean, that's the risk you run in a tournament style.
Right, and that's the one too, when you're just on the mat, you're like, do I have to see this guy again?
Okay, well, guys, we're getting ready for Henry Ford on mat 2. Let's go ahead and describe what we got.
Mustafa Adel excuse me, here for Henry Ford. He's taking on Brody Kemper of Mott Community College.
Okay, so we've got in that 149 weight class, Mustafa Adel McGee. And we got some hot and heavy action going.
Single leg. He got his takedown. That's 2 points for Kemper.
And we got two Hawks, as a matter of fact, and we got something going on in mat 1.
Mat 1. We got, needed to refresh for me.
We have Elijah Kidder here on mat 1 with Jonah Seacom of Siena Heights. Elijah Kidder is a great wrestler, was a great wrestler in high school. Little stoppage right now. But we have Mustafa on the bottom trying to work out, trying to get hand control here on the bottom.
And a takedown on mat 1 for is that Mustafa? No,
That's
that's Elijah
Kidder.
Nice takedown for Kidler.
Okay, so we got Kidder on mat 1, and we've got McGee.
McGee.
Yes, that's it. And that's Siena Heights.
Kidler's
That's
doing
here.
a good job of getting his riding time. He's got his boots in on mat 1.
Okay.
And McGee is trying to get back to his knees here.
See, Kempler's looking for that stack, trying to go over and up and on the head, pull him over, but good job by Mustafa to really fight out of that hold.
So
on mat 1, it looks like he's basically got himself a rear naked choke.
So we've got Kidder on mat 1, right?
Correct.
In the 149.
Yes, sir.
And we've got Abdel McGee 149 over here on mat 2.
Yes, sir.
So we've got, folks, if you're at home, make sure you keep an eye on the guys who have the unis with the hawk around the front, and they're dark black uniforms, nice snazzy singlet. Singlet is the uniform, right?
Yes, sir.
See, I told you, I didn't forget all of it.
Kidder awarded 4 back points before getting out of bounds, so he leads 6-0. Kidder, a 2020 NCAA national qualifier, one of the best wrestlers here for Henry Ford.
And over on mat 2, McGuide is trying to get back to his feet here, trying to get an escape and get away.
There's Kidder looking for a pin right now. He's got the head hooked. He's just got to keep stretching that arm out. He's gotten his 4 back points. They won't be awarded, though, until we see Seekman come out from off his back. Now Kidder can just sit there, look pretty, smile for the cameras, work for the pin.
Wow.
Man, and another 4 points for Brody Kemper here on mat 2. A rough match here for the Henry Ford Hawk.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys.
Nice takedown.
Guys, as I'm looking at all of this action, these are some of the most finely conditioned athletes that you can find in college athletics. And right there, the wrestler from Siena Heights was having a real difficult time fighting himself out any way that he can attempt to come back in a match like this.
At this point, when you're down 6-0, there's 25 seconds left. You see Kidder just having control of this entire match. If Siena Heights, if Seekman gets back onto his feet, he's going to have to look for a throw, look for an easy takedown.
Now we got something going on mat 2, fellas.
We've got Gabriel Lee from Henry Ford College in the 165-pound division taking on Greg Mullinax from Siena Heights University.
Okay.
Both men in a tie-up here. Oh, nice reversal by Mullinax.
Gabriel Lee with a nice shot in there, just couldn't hook the leg, couldn't finish it. Now working hand control here on the bottom.
Gabriel Lee trying to break that grip of Mullinax and get back to his feet.
And so we're getting ready for period number 2 here on mat number 1, correct?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
it looks like there's a little blood here for Elijah Kidder, maybe fixing up in the, looks like they're also correcting the score because they did have it listed at 6-0. It should be, I believe, 10-0. They needed to add a few more back points. So as they correct the score over on mat 1 between Elijah Kidder and
It's 12-0.
12-0 is what they've updated to. Here we have Gabriel Lee and Greg Mullinax on mat 2, and Gabriel Lee down 2-0 with 2:08 left in the first period.
Okay. Here we are.
Go with the reset. Mullinax on top, round 2.
All right, we are here, folks, at the Hawks Invitational at the Athletics Memorial Building. Eric Payton along with Kyle Collison and Ryan Elke. Happy to be with you. 2 mats going, Hawks Invitational, folks.
Nice bridge.
Gabriel Lee fighting off his back. It looks like Mullinex will be awarded some back points once Lee gets out off his
Good
back.
Lord, this guy's got a gymnastics background with how flexible he is on this bridge. He's almost back to his knees, trying to get back to his feet. But 4 more points for Mullinex.
Mullinex leading 6-0 over Gabriel Lee over here on mat 2 with 1:25 left in the first period.
Over on mat 1, it looks like Elijah Kidler's getting ready to reset here, center mat.
Okay, we're starting.
Oh, right ahead with a takedown, taking the back and putting his boots in.
Starting the second period on mat 1, and here on mat 3, where Lee is, he's down 6-1.
He's back to his feet, though, as they're in this tie-up, so he's got a chance to come get him some points back.
Kidder
over on mat 1, working his tilt, working for back points.
very safe to say the Kidder's in well in control of that match.
Right, now he's up 14-0 at a 15-point deficit. They'll call it a technical fall. So for Kidder in this third period, he's just got to work for the pin. He's going to start down on bottom. He's got to work for a pin before he goes up 15. So it might be tough starting on bottom here because if he gets the escape point and gets out, that will be the end of the match.
Okay, on both mats, folks, it's Henry Ford College against Siena Heights. Just so you know, distinguishing singlets there. Henry Ford has that dark on, dark blue, and black and blue.
On mat 1, Jonah Seekman's trying to make himself a comeback here against Elijah Kidler.
Kidder right there, he gets his 1 point.
1 point.
So he gets the technical win of 15-0 over Jonah Seekman.
This man just gave him a lesson on mat run.
He worked his tilts, he worked for back points, and he controlled that entire match. That's why he's a national qualifier.
So that's Elijah Kidder.
Yes, sir. One of Henry Ford's own getting the technical W over here, 15-0.
How many matches you think Kidder will have today, with starting off with that win?
If I look at the bracket, he'd probably have 3 matches. If he wins all of them, he'll be on top of the podium at the end of the day. Especially if he's wrestling like that, coming out winning 15-0, first thing out of the gate.
Okay, so all the action now is on mat number 2.
Eric, but that goes back to something you were saying earlier when you talked about the cardio that goes into wrestling. I mean, you got to realize these guys are cutting weight to make this tournament. But I mean, with a gas tank like that, Kidler has really shown that he's going to be at the top of the heap here because he just made that look relatively easy in a 15-0 technical W.
That's good. That allows him to conserve some energy, I'm sure, for the matches that he has later on. So we're going to focus in on Gabriel Lee, who is down 7-1.
Just started the second period. Gabriel started on top. Mullinex gets out pretty quickly in less than 10 seconds. And now Lee down 7-1. He's got to look to score points, be aggressive on his feet, look for takedowns.
So Ryan, for you, I mean, I've got more of a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background. So for you in a tie-up like this, are you looking to snap his head down? Are you going for a double leg? You going for a single leg? What's your move of choice on this?
Snapping the head is easily what you need to do. You need to change the levels of your wrestler. And you see, Siena Heights' wrestler, he's standing more square foot. So that's right for that double leg. You can come in, hit that blast double, work for your 2. So Lee just needs to keep working that head, changing levels. And when Mullinex pops up, he needs to go.
Man, you know, for Gabriel over here, I mean, shout out to my coach, Big Don Richard, who's watching. I mean, one takedown that he always has was working in the gym, man. You know, you tap the inside of the leg on the high crotch, switch to the double. I mean, it's right there for the taking, and he got his takedown.
There's the lead. He saw the feet cross. He applied the pressure, got the easy 2. Now down 7-3. 40 seconds left here in the second period.
Can he mount a comeback? Can Gabriel Lee get in here after being down 6-0 and win this match?
As long as he can flip Mullinex on his back
because
here.
now he's getting riding time as well. The whole time he's on top of him, he's accruing his riding time. If he gets over a minute, that's an extra point in the bank.
He's got to take the riding time away from Mullinex first, but as long as Lee can get Mullinex on his back here, we could see possibly a tied score before the end of the period.
And these two young gentlemen here, Kyle and Ryan, both have extensive wrestling backgrounds, and we're going to let them shine and analyze these matches as we go. Gabriel Lee.
See Lee riding that ankle, trying to hook the other leg so that way he can work his leverage, sink his boots in, get the double legs in. And now we have the end of the period. Gabriel Lee down 7-3, headed to the third. And it'll be Siena Heights' choice, looks like, for the third period.
Gabriel Lee getting to start right back on top here.
So if you're Coach McKenzie and you're Gabriel Lee, you got to give Lee about 1 minute to try to flip him on his back. If it's not working for him, he's got to let him up and he's got to look for some takedowns.
Because that's the quickest way he's going to accrue points in this one. He's going to get 2 points per takedown. So, I mean, the time's running short.
You see Lee, he's trying to work that head, but Molinex is doing a good job. Molinex hit with the stalling call, not really working for anything.
He's got his boots in, flatten him out again.
Gabriel
just got to stretch him out and work on that head and look for that power half.
In case you just joined us, Gabriel Lee from Henry Ford College, 157-pound weight class. It's down 7-3. He was down 6-0 and fought back, but let's see if he can finish the comeback.
Really, he's got to punch that left hand through a little more with that power half to work that leverage on Molinex. But now we're a minute left in the period. Lee down 4 points. He's got to look to flip Molinex here soon, or else he's got to have to cut him and work for takedowns.
For those of you who are watching this that are MMA fans, this is real similar to when you see a guy taking the back in an MMA fight. It's the same difference. You hear us saying putting the boots in, but it's the same as putting your hooks in if you're in jiu-jitsu or MMA. Taking your back. Obviously, we're not going to get punches up here, but he's got him flattened out.
Down to 30 seconds here left, and another stalling call on Molinex, so that's a point for Gabriel Lee. So now it's only a 7-4 deficit for Lee. If he can flip Molinex here, he could get out with the win here. He's just got to get Molinex onto his back. Short time, 10 seconds left here in the match.
Man, he's got to get up and try to get a takedown, get him some points real quick. Oh, they're getting ready to throw the towel.
And that's it. 7-4. Molinex from Siena Heights defeats Gabriel Lee. Defeats Gabriel Lee. And I was going to say, what do you guys think of that comeback by Gabriel Lee?
He fought the entire time. Molinex would not turn over, and that's what happened in the third period. Lee was on top the entire time, just couldn't figure out a way to get Molinex over, and Molinex is like, hey, you're down a lot of points. I'm not going to let you do anything, and I'm familiar with that style. You just coast to that win.
Now what weight class were you in, Ryan, when you wrestled?
So my senior year of high school, I wrestled at 140 pounds. So I was 6 foot, 140, so I loved my long reach. I love sinking my feet in. I love stretching these guys out and using my leverage any way I could.
Waterford Kettering High School,
Waterford Kettering, and here on Henry Ford's College, we have Grant Imus of Waterford Mott. I was actually fortunate enough to coach him in middle school, so I'm actually excited to see Grant because he had a rough senior year with an injury, and now he's wrestling up a weight. He weighs 198 pounds, and he's wrestling heavyweight today. So he's going to be giving up a lot of weight wrestling today. So excited to see what he can do on this Saturday.
Kyle, who we got here going on mat 2 for Henry Ford?
Trying to get it to refresh for me. We're working with the elements.
We have
here.
Palik Kelly here on mat 2, taking on Paulo Dragon of Muskegon Community College.
Man, we are getting it on with Muskegon Community College early here in the Hawk Invitational.
Well, some of the schools that are here, Mott Community College from Flint, Muskegon Community College, as Kyle just mentioned. Siena Heights is here, and Silla College is here. Community College is here. A lot of folks here at the Hawks Invitational. Eric Pate, Kyle Collison, and Ryan Elke. We're glad to be with you here at the Athletic Memorial Building.
Great sprawl there by Kelly. And nice reshot, but just a little far out, so take a break of the action, they go out of bounds. 2:25 left in the period, still in the neutral position. Nice shot off the whistle there from Dragon of Muskegon Community College, but Kelly's doing a good job sprawling out, trying to regain hand control, holding that ankle, stalemate called, so they'll reset in the neutral position.
And we're going to be keeping an eye on the mats 1 and 2. They got 2 mats here, and I'm happy we have some great production. And happy to be with you at the Athletic Memorial Building here on the campus of Henry Ford College. It's the Hawks Invitational. Henry Ford College wrestlers throughout. You'll see them.
Kelly's trying to find his distance, got the hand on the head. Oh, single leg attempt, but no takedown yet.
That was a great arm drag there by Paulo Dragon. Kelly went for the reach. The Dragon just pulled him on by, took all his momentum, was able to scoop up the leg on the way through and get the takedown. Now Palik Kelly trails 2-0 with a minute 25.
Way to get the escape and get back to his feet. Look at that. And he's driving for that takedown. What a reversal for Henry Ford Community College.
Not just an escape, so at one point they'll restart in the neutral position. Minute 22 left in the period. Kelly there, he's got to be a little ready off the whistle. Dragon showed he'll jump right off that whistle, and he goes for the leg, but a nice sprawl here by Kelly.
Way to get himself back on top, though, man, in a bad position and scramble out.
Kelly just working that circle drill that you do in practice all day long. But now they're back on their feet, less than a minute to go.
Another tie-up center mat. Here they go, they separate. Is anybody going to get a takedown?
See, Kelly's got to be, nice ankle pick there. Paulo Dragon, nice ankle pick, working his way.
Hey, man, I know we're supposed to be with the Hawks, but you got to give credit where credit's due. Muskegon, the guy from Muskegon, has had himself quite the beautiful setup.
Kelly just needs to circle into him.
Oh, and he's back on top again. Oh, wow.
No change of possession really yet, so Dragon still stays on top. It's still 4-1, Dragon lead over Palik Kelly. Kelly's got to work for that hand control, get back to his knees, and try to work on out of this.
And how difficult is it in a situation like this when you're behind and you're trying to, you've got to use your entire body to lift up and try to get to a position to
You just got to start one knee at a time. Slide one knee up, get that hand control, get his hands off your wrists, and then work your second knee up. It can be a slow process, but you just got to take your time and do the work.
And Kyle, you were saying that, hey, give credit where credit is due. We don't have, hey, just tell it like it is.
Hey, man,
we don't have to wave the partisan flag. Just tell it like it is.
Like you mentioned, man, with the grappling experience, I can't deny a beautiful looking takedown when I see one. And I mean, to answer your question, you talk about how hard it is to come back when you got a guy on top of you, man. That's the thing that makes wrestling, jiu-jitsu, MMA, all these things a lot harder than regular sports, because the whole time you're trying to fight back just to get to your feet, you've got another man driving your face into the ground, driving his hips into you, putting his weight into you, and you're expending so much energy just to get back to your feet, let alone get back up to take the man back down.
That's right. 4-2.
Kelly started this period.
Oh, he's got a single. He's got a single.
He's got the cradle locked up. He's just going to get to the side. He could take Dragon to his back right now. He keeps driving over.
And that is tough. Tough
and this
wrestling.
is a great fight by Dragon to not go to his back. He's clenching his left side there. Now they're going to call potentially dangerous here soon. Dragon
he's got his knee all twisted up, his arms all twisted up, but I mean, this man is fighting. The name Dragon fits him.
And nice shot by Kelly. He's got to watch himself, though. He's going to put himself on his back.
4-4 tie. What a match we got here. He's looking for the pin here. Watch them shoulders.
Now Dragon has almost reversed this and almost got Kelly on his back here because he's just too much on his hips.
Was that a reversal there?
It's a reversal, and then it looks like Kelly's
trying to get his reverse right back.
He gets his reversal back, and now he's
trying to take the back again.
And over here on mat 1, we have Logan Valente squaring off with Alex Sampson of Muskegon Community College. And Sampson starts off with a nice takedown.
Got Hawks on both mats right now. We're going to keep you updated on both matches that are occurring simultaneously.
You know, self-admittedly, I don't know as much about this Muskegon team, but I mean, I have to say, every guy I've seen come out from them so far, man, they really must be crafty with the takedowns, because I've seen beautiful setups from every guy I've seen from Muskegon thus far.
And they're quick off the whistle, too. They don't waste time trying to tie up.
They get after it. That's what I like to see. Let's get at it.
Right. That whistle blows, and they're going for it. So Logan Valente down 9-0 already.
Oh, boy.
Quickly here, 55 seconds into the first period. He's just got to keep his head up and work for that hand control and try to get back to neutral.
So right now we have Henry Ford College versus Muskegon Community College on both mats. So we're going to keep you abreast with these two guys, and I'm going to call them experts early on because they are schooling the audience. They're schooling me definitely. Kyle Collison and Ryan Elke on the analysis or color right now here at the Hawks Invitational here at the Athletics Memorial Building. What can you tell us about what's going on, guys?
So right here on mat 1 between Logan Valente, they went out of bounds, so they're resetting, and it looks like Sampson's going for the banana splits, and he gets it, and that's a pin for Alex Sampson over Logan Valente. And Valente stood up, and it's called banana splits for a reason. You could see right there on the mat what happens.
Hey, man, that's real reminiscent. You mentioned WWE. I mean, that's real reminiscent to seeing the old schoolboy pin from a pro wrestling pin over here, man.
All right.
I'm just saying.
That's it. So that match over in mat number 1 is over.
That's over. Logan Valente was pinned by Alex Sampson. So
on mat 2, we've got a stand-up. They're getting ready for this takedown.
Yes, it's a 9-6 lead for Apollo Dragon over Malik Kelly. And nice move there by Dragon to just drop over the sprawl of Kelly to get another 2 to go up 11-6.
Just seems like the wrestler from Muskegon is just a little bit more craftier in his moves out there on mat 2.
It seems like he's setting up everything he wants to do. It seems like he's been a step ahead of Kelly, and he's just got to keep working at his game. And can't try to match what Dragon's doing. Wrestle your style.
He got another escape point though for Henry Ford.
Over here on mat 1, we're about to have Michael McVeigh start out versus Jared Roll of Mott Community College.
These are heavyweights over here?
These are the
boys.
These are the big guys.
I'm going to keep my eyes fixed on mat 1 because I've been looking forward to it.
Biggie Don, I know you're watching. It's right up your ilk, brother man.
All right. Still have some action left on mat 2.
Nice
Kelly
sprawl
down
from Muskegon on mat 2.
Yeah, Palik Kelly is down 11-7 right now.
Yeah, 20 seconds left in the match. He's got to work for something. If he's got to work.
McVeigh's looking to switch that double. He might finish this takedown on mat 1.
Oh, a nice hold there by Jared Roll
watch
to
your
lock
shoulders.
a cradle up.
Watch your shoulders.
And over here on mat 2, it looks like
Michael McVeigh trying to get back to those knees, finish this takedown.
over here on mat 2, Apollo Dragon beats Malik Kelly 11-7.
What a match, though.
Hard-fought match. A lot of speed in that match. It was just a lot of takedowns, a lot of wrestling on their feet. And they called this. Trying to hear what the official just called, but it looks like Jared Roll's gonna let Michael McVeigh up to restart in the neutral position, so it will be 6-1 for Roll over Michael McVeigh here. 2:05 left in the first period.
McVeigh's been doing a real good job of driving in on these takedowns, though. The score might reflect different, but I mean, he's been working for that takedown.
It just got caught up, locked in a cradle, and easy 4 back points for Roll. So McVeigh, you got to feel confident in your takedown as Roll goes in for the 2.
Oh no!
Trying to go backdoor on it, and McVeigh doing a great job hanging on to that ankle. He's got to keep hanging on. He's got to get to his stomach and sprawl out.
285 pounds is what he is that. What is that? Or 227?
He's in the weight class of 285, so that's the most you can weigh in there. But yeah, McVeigh weighing in at 227.
227 is what he weighed in at?
227.30 pounds.
It sounds like a big fella.
Oh, and a nice quick pin there by Jared Roll. Just turned around, just put some pressure into McVeigh and was able to get the pin. Minute 42 into the first period. So Roll over Michael McVeigh of Henry Ford.
And for the heavyweights, for you guys to have a little bit of an idea of what you're looking at, any of you guys who watched UFC 259 this past weekend in the fight between Jan Blachowicz and Israel Adesanya, 225 was about what Jan Blachowicz was walking into the cage. Now, mind you, they weighed in at 205. So that gives you an idea of the type of caliber of big boys we got on these mats.
And that was kind of an upset. I mean, I know enough about UFC to say that. I thought that Asanya, right?
Adesanya, yep.
Adesanya was going to control the match.
See?
He's better boxer.
See, I agree with you, but here was what I said going on into the fight. You know, those of you who have been checking me out at all on Knockouts and 3 Counts, you know we cover MMA and wrestling. But in that fight, the thing with that fight is that you've got Jan Blachowicz, who he was the real pacemaker in that fight. If Jan would have gone in head first, I think Izzy would have caught a knockout. But with him being able to pick his shots, pick his timing on his takedowns and his ground control, as we've been seeing here on these wrestling mats for Henry Ford Invitational, really made the difference in that fight.
It's all about getting somebody to the mat, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right.
That's the goal. And it looks like Christian Gerber is going to be wrestling soon, but with these tournaments, there is a time limit. You can only wrestle so quickly after your first match. He was our first match of the day versus Matthew Burns. So we'll see if Gerber will be wrestling soon. I believe he's got to wait at least 30 minutes.
It says on mat 1 we've got, you were just talking about
so
Yep, okay.
we might have to wait a few minutes for Gerber to take him out again, just because you're only allowed to wrestle with it so quickly on a day.
The time.
Right. You got to let these bodies recover a little bit, protect the wrestlers. So we'll see when we can get Gerber back here on mat 1 versus Cody Wood of St. Clair Community College.
Eric Pate along with Kyle Collison and Ryan Elke. And go ahead, Kyle.
I was going to say, on mat 2, you know, you've got another teammate versus teammate match. You've got Glenn Kaharovics. I don't know if I said that right, sir. If I didn't, forgive me. Kyler Kolk from Muskegon Community College. Both guys are really at a stalemate here. You know, he's trying to get this takedown.
And it looks like Kuharovic is awarded 2 to start. But these are the matches I remember the most wrestling in high school. You get in these tournaments, you're wrestling your buddy. It's one of 2 ways. If the match didn't mean anything, then you're like, we're going to try everything our coaches yelled us not to do. Like, we're going to have fun. Let's try these different moves. Or if it's maybe someone you're just tired of beating you up in practice, then you're going all at it trying to prove you're the better wrestler.
Well, I'll say this. Early observation, Muskegon seems ready to go. And the Henry Ford College wrestlers are sort of like the women's volleyball team, just scrappy.
Yes, sir.
They're going to hang in there. They're going to fight. They're going to claw. They're not going to give up.
Right, they come in, they know exactly what they want to do, and they work a little slower to set up their stuff. Muskegon, they're right off the whistle, and looks like we've hit that 30-minute time limit for Christian Gerber to be able to wrestle again, so he'll be on mat 1 here against Cody Wood of St. Clair Community College. Gerber will win in his first match over his teammate Matthew Burns. Let's see how Gerber's doing now against someone that he doesn't see every single day.
So this is a 125-pound weight class. Christian Gerber is the young man in the Hawks singlet.
Can I just say, for one, I do not envy these gentlemen getting to 125. I had to fight at 125, 120, and 130. I do not miss it.
Wow. I'm glad I don't have a weight class right now. I just don't want to get up to 272 to where I was last year when COVID began.
That COVID weight, brother, man.
I'm at 248 right now, feeling really good, 25 pounds lighter.
There you go.
I couldn't make it against those big heavyweights, though. So I better get back down to my right weight class, about 220, 230.
You'd still be up there with him. He was at 227.
Well,
I want to drop to 197, huh?
I'll be exempt.
He said, I'll be exempt.
I don't want to be a part of the
tournament.
tournament.
I don't want the smoke.
I don't want no smoke from these guys.
Oh, nice. That was a nice little hip top.
Gerber going for the pin here. He's trying to drive that shoulder to the mat.
He got it.
Call pin for Gerber.
Yes, sir. Gerber getting the quick W, getting that pin, getting those shoulders to the mat.
And for those of you at home wondering, like, why is it a pin? Cody Wood was out of bounds. As long as Gerber has 1 foot in bounds, everything's still in play. So you can pin someone on your back out of the mat as long as Gerber is sticking his feet out. He had both feet in. You know, he's a pro NFL wide receiver. He knows 2 feet down for it to count. So he's able to get the quick pin.
Unless
over
you
Cody
play
Wood.
for the Detroit Lions, then sometimes even that doesn't work.
Well, that's a whole nother story because we don't want to talk about that. Don't ruin our Saturday. We're here at the Athletic Memorial Building, Henry Ford College Hawks Invitational. I want to ask you guys this, and I'll start with Kyle. You know, we just saw Christian Gerber at 125 pounds. Asil Admudala is ranked at 125 pounds in the nation, 8th in the nation. is the 125 weight class the strength of the Henry Ford College program?
It looks that way. It's kind of just seeing how Gerber's wrestled today, and we all know about Al-Mudala and, you know, his accolades throughout his career. It seems like they've got a stronghold on the 125 weight class for the next few years. And we're about to see another one as Matthew Burns is coming up on mat 1 against Alex Cantu of Muskegon.
I want to get Kyle's take on that, too.
So at 125, I mean, clearly I would say that this is definitely one of the strong points for the Henry Ford team. I mean, as you just mentioned, you know, he's ranked at number 8. In wrestling, as opposed to what we see sometime in MMA and boxing, these rankings do mean something, especially in a tournament format. So when you're being ranked at number 8, there's a reason for that. So I'm really excited to see what we're going to see here. And 125, it looks like Henry Ford is getting ready to make some noise.
Well, good. Eric Pate, along with Kyle Collison and Ryan Elke, happy with you at the Hawks Invitational at the Athletics Memorial Building. 2 mats going. We have a full afternoon of wrestling. Make sure you turn on the YouTube channel or click on the Henry Ford College live stream, and you can catch all of this action as we've done it all winter long through this COVID period as winter turns into spring.
See Burns and Cantu just tied up on their feet now with an over-under for each of them. And 125, you don't really necessarily have that in your repertoire of throwing guys because it's like that's not your strength. Your strength is
nice
nice
for
back trip.
Yeah, nice trip.
Nice back trip by Cantu.
Getting those shoulders off the mat. Look at that bridge, though. He's going for that pin. Watch those shoulders.
Burns it, yeah. Nice bridge.
Oh, no.
But the way Cantu just was chest to chest, had the over-under locked, that's a hard position for Burns to just not have his shoulders on the mat.
Wow.
And I'll say this till I'm blue in the face like these mats, man. When you got another man pressing you into the mat, you think it's so easy just watching a stream, man. Having somebody drive their weight and with technique, man, that's a problem.
Well, so far, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Muskegon Community College Jayhawks are, 3-0 against Henry Ford College wrestlers, if my memory serves me correctly, and it can go default at 57, but Henry Ford, they're scrappy, but Muskegon is coming in here with some swiftness and technique.
They're more technical, man. Like I've been saying, the setups on these takedowns are beautiful. Like I said, we're Henry Ford all the way over here, but look, you got to call a spade and a takedown a takedown. They're setting things up beautifully, and I think that's what's making the difference here for Muskegon.
Who we got here on mat 1, guys?
Getting it refreshed here. All right, here's what we got. Dashboard. So on mat 1, we've got
Caleb Nicholson here coming up against Joe Carpenter on mat 1 at Mott Community College.
Yes, sir. Fighting in the 141-pound division here.
Caleb.
I've also competed in this weight class, 141 to 154.
Caleb Nicholson, 2-time state qualifier of MHSA high school wrestling.
What high school?
He went to Redford Union. So he's a D1 wrestler in the state of Michigan. That's nothing to laugh at considering how many great wrestlers, Division I, MHSA wrestlers just dominate college wrestling.
And Caleb broke out the gold boots today. So let's see what that brings.
Over here on mat 2, we have Grant
the Macho Man, have him on his boots.
Over on mat 2, we have Grant Imus of Henry Ford College.
Whoa.
Early takedown.
North-south position, but his feet are real close to the mat.
Yeah, if you're Grant, you want to keep moving out of bounds. Couldn't do it. Shoulders were pinned. So Grant Imus, but again, Grant's going to probably have a long day. He's wrestling in the heavyweight up to 285. He weighs 198 pounds. He's given up a lot of weight today, but he's got that length, so he needs to work his length to his advantage in his next match.
Is this a learning process, would you say, guys, for a lot of the Henry Ford College wrestlers today?
I think so. It's a newer program here, so they're going to take some licks, but they've also had some great success early on from Coach McKenzie. So when you come up to these schools that have been around for a while, the day may not be fun, but remember, you're going to be that program in 2 years. So I think that's what Henry Ford, when they run into these these more established programs, just, hey, we're getting there. We're like, there's great things being established here at Henry Ford College.
Not to mention, you got to imagine these guys aren't getting the regular training as we've all been in a COVID and a pandemic. I mean, that's got to change, somebody's air. That's got to change somebody's training. Oh, and a nice takedown for Henry Ford over here on mat 1.
We got some action on mat 2. We'll fill you in momentarily.
Decorous Cooper of Henry Ford coming up with Micah Kingen of Mott Community College here on mat 2.
In the 133-pound division.
So stalemate here for Cooper over on mat 2. They're back in neutral with 2:40 left in the first period.
I like what Caleb Nicholson is doing on mat 1.
He's still got those lone takedown points at 2-0, and he's on top again here over on mat 1.
Nice duck under over by Kingen on mat 2 against Decorous Cooper. Cooper down 2-0, just needs to work up to his knees and work out.
Decorous Cooper wrestling for Henry Ford College.
Dump on mat 1 by Caleb Nicholson.
Caleb Nicholson on mat 1. Decorous Cooper on mat 2 for Henry Ford College. A lot of action right here at the Hawks Invitational.
Man, Caleb Nicholson looking like a young Kurt Angle out here with them suplexes over here, man.
Now there's a wrestling name from the past.
Hey, man. I do my research out here, man.
There you go. Well, that's what we expect, color guy. Great
Cooper
job.
Here
he's got him locked up again. My man might be going for a ride again.
Over here on mat 2, Decorous Cooper, he just needs to work for hand control, work his hands up. It's now 4-0 lead for Kingen of Mott. And Cooper, he's got a hip down. He can't go over to his back here. See here, Cooper just needs to roll through that next time and get out of it. Now Kingen working to get those double boots in on Cooper.
Now it's 2-1 over here with Nicholson.
Start of the second period, and Carpenter just gets up right at the start of the period, but Nicholson up 2-1 right now. We've seen him. He's electric on his feet.
See what Nicholson can do here on mat 1, but Decorous Cooper in a little bit of a hole here, down 4-0.
Cooper rolls over, and he's back in control now, sinking the half in, getting back points. Cooper just needs to
trying
reset
to drive
his
that
weight.
shoulder to the mat. He's looking for that pin.
Cooper needs to reset his weight, stretch that arm out.
And over on mat 1, we've got Caleb Nicholson in the tie-up.
So Cooper with a nice turn of events.
Wow.
He was down 4-0. It's now 6-6, all tied up in the second period.
Like you said, Eric, man, Henry Ford is scrapping out here.
And he could have given up. Your body can just give out on you when you're down like that. Your mental. He stayed in it.
Nicholson's got to watch the single leg. Good balance so far.
Wow. This is some good action that's going on here at the Hawks Invitational. Glad to be with you on a Saturday afternoon. Kyle Collison, Ryan Elke, Eric Pate at the Athletics Memorial Building. Nicholson is on mat 1, Caleb Nicholson, and Decorous Cooper on mat 2.
Cooper's going for that pin.
Cooper with a nice cradle, rolls over for it to put him on his back and gets 4 back points right at the end of the period.
So that's 10-6. Cooper making the comeback.
He was down 4-0 in the period, and then he outscores him 10-2 in a little over a minute. Now he has a 4-point lead going into period 3.
The Mott coaches are yelling and imploring their wrestler to kind of get it together here. Here we got a dogfight in mat 1 with Caleb Nicholson.
It's 2-1. Caleb Nicholson up 2-1 over Joe Carpenter right now. Like I said, this is like Eric just mentioned, man, it's a dogfight.
The intensity is so thick in wrestling.
Cooper rolls through, was on the bottom, and gets the quick pin.
Gets the pin.
That had to be.
Look at the comeback for Cooper.
That had to be the most impressive action I've seen thus far today. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, and the one thing is,
Cooper.
It started out with a really bad mistake. When he was on bottom, he reached up back for the head. When you do that, you're exposing your own back. And Cooper just showing off his strength, rolled through it, got King on his back, and gets the pin for Henry Ford.
And I think Decorous Cooper looked down at the kid from Mott and did a little barking at the end, which coach was kind of telling him, hey, cool out. We don't want to do that just yet. But that's an impressive win.
They say you never know which official you'll get, whether or not they'll take that the right way or not. They can dock a team point from your team's points at the end of the day. So it's more about, hey, save the flexing for off the mat. Go see your friends, brag to them. But
that's right.
On mat 1, you know, Caleb Nicholson got himself another point. It's now 3-1 here.
It's been a dogfight, and I've kind of peeked over here, but we had to pay homage to Decorius Cooper with a great takedown there.
It looks like coming up on mat 2 here in just a second, we'll have Vaughn Petty coming up for Henry Ford. That's coming up soon here on mat 2, but right now Caleb Nicholson up 3-1 over Joe Carpenter. And Nicholson's doing a great job. He's holding that whizzer in. It's where his arm is. Oh, and get a stalling call on Nicholson. I'm a little surprised at the stalling call.
How is he stalling, though, when he's trying to defend a takedown?
Exactly. That's why I don't understand. Maybe he wants Nicholson
I don't know what match the ref's watching, but I don't know. He was trying to defend a takedown to me.
Right. But if you're backing up and if you're not being an aggressor on offense, that ref will throw up that stalling.
But he had a hold of his legs.
If Nicholson's not being aggressive on offense at all, the refs, it's up to ref's discretion. So
I hear you, but
say no coach likes a stalling call. They're all wrong. We all know how that goes. But Nicholson he's trying to ride this match out. Up 3-1 as the time goes final. So Caleb Nicholson, again, sometimes the stalling call is what you're going for. If you have one to give, you're allowed two. You're allowed a free one, pretty much. The free one's the warning. The first one's the warning. The second one, points are awarded.
Well, at 141, Caleb Nicholson from Henry Ford College wins 3-1 over the Mott wrestler, and nice competition there. Guys were competing all the way through.
Yeah, and Nicholson was doing a great job. Just as Carpenter of Mott was being the aggressor. He was getting his shots in. He was trying to find that takedown, and it just wasn't there for Nicholson. Nicholson was doing a great job sinking his whizzer in, sprawling out, and he's like, hey, I'm up 3-1, and I'm comfortable with this. I don't need to do anything else.
And the takedown he scored, man, he went for about 2 or 3 big takedowns with the body lock takedowns over here from Nicholson, man. I mean, this dude might have a future in MMA or pro wrestling. Good Lord. Dude's trying to take him for a ride. I like it.
Well, Eric Payton along with Kyle Collison and Ryan Elke. And folks, I hope you are enjoying this at home in the comfort of your living room. Hopefully we'll get you out here pretty soon, maybe next school year. But for now, just take it all in. Catch us on YouTube. Catch us on the Henry Ford College website and the live stream. Not only wrestling, but also men's basketball and women's volleyball right here at Henry Ford College. What we got going on here is a match between a Muskegon Community College wrestler and Mott College wrestler.
You have Cale Bunce of Muskegon Community. You have Brody Kemper of Mott. And right now, just on mat 2, we're waiting for Vaughn Petty to get ready with his next opponent, Glenn Kuhaverich of Muskegon. Kuhaverich just wrestled a few minutes ago, so we're waiting on that time limit to hit, because you need to give each wrestler you can't keep rushing them out there. You got to think about the player safety when it comes to tournaments like this. So we'll run into a few stallmates right here as we get matches moving along. These matches move along really quickly today.
And that's the thing. With all the teams that are here, you have to still comply to the safety. You have to have safety compliance all the way through. Concussion protocol, now COVID protocol, and the time limit, because these bodies, I like the science. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
In wrestling and all the other sports that has advanced these sports.
Right, because even though, as a wrestler and friends that aren't wrestlers, well, you're only wrestling 7 minutes. I was like, my 7 minutes is more than what you did in your basketball game.
That's right.
Not to mention, man, let's not forget that just to get there, the weight cut to even make it onto the mat. Just because you're on the mat doesn't mean that all the work that you put in from that weight cut didn't affect you either, man. That can suck you out, make you tired, make you hungry, make you not feel so good, make you feel a little woozy.
Weak, dizzy, all of those symptoms. And that's a great point by both of you all. It's time consuming. Now, I coach basketball, played college basketball, and when you get on this mat, it's just you. Yeah, it's not for other teammates.
Right.
Well, you didn't run. You didn't set a pick. You didn't defend this guy. You didn't cut him off at the baseline. When you get on this mat, everything that you've done in that wrestling room is going to be displayed out here on this mat.
Right, and that's the best part about it. It's like there's no blame to pass except right there on yourself at the end of the day. So it's like you know exactly what you did wrong, and we all hear the coaches too. If you see wrestlers saying, "No, I can't hear it," that's an excuse. Your voice pierces through everything else, all the other noise. So just going out there, being on the mat, it's just wonderful. Just it's on you.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, to further elaborate on that, you know, whether it's a setting like this where we're doing college wrestling, a fight, whatever you're talking, I mean, here's the thing. Like you said, you're out there on your own. Yes, you've got coaches, and yes, you can hear them. But at the same time, like we were just saying, you know, in a 7-minute match, I mean, you're going at it full bore. I mean, you don't have, you know, it's not like football where you got a lineman to maybe come back you up when dude starts pushing you back or anything like that. Plus, it's the mental game. Because when you step onto that mat, I mean, look, you can be as confident as can be, but you got to realize this man was training for the same thing as you. So, I mean, it's that mental game of realizing I know what I'm about to bring myself into here as well.
Right. Who we got here on mat 2, guys?
We have Shadiq Seek-Mary of Henry Ford. Vaughn Petty is scheduled to come up, but his opponents, we're waiting on his time limit to hit so we can get his second match in. So we get Sadiq, who was a state qualifier last year, his senior year of high school at 189, now wrestling 184 in college.
Shadiq Seek-Mary, 184-pound weight class or weight division.
Here you go. This is more Izzy's weight style for you.
And nice underhook
nice
there.
tie up here. Ooh, going. Get that head up. Oh, he's driving for that single.
So.
Oh, man. And Dotson just got himself a takedown.
So some great snap down action. They're going for that front headlock. Sadiq just couldn't finish it. Dotson did a great job. He got that head down. He wrapped that leg, got the cradle up, worked around for his 2 points, and now up 2-0.
Dotson starting on top here, trying to get his boots in, and a good escape.
It's an odd moment from Dotson.
It looked like he got hurt.
Right.
Dotson looked like he got hurt because he just fell off top of him.
Right.
But, I mean, one man's loss is another man's gain.
Right.
Shaq Miri is back up on top here.
Right, so it looked like Dotson may have tweaked something because, yeah, he just gave up and
that
went to his
looked
stomach.
real awkward, man. He fell right off top of him from a guy who was trying to take his back.
Sadiq trying to suck him
back.
back.
Trying to get that pin.
He's got to drive back into the shoulders now, but Sadiq, he noticed Dotson was leaning back, so he scooped the head, brought him right back down.
2 more points for Shaq Miri here as well. Sheik Miri, excuse me.
1 point escape for Dotson, but still 4-3 lead for Shadiq Seek-Mary of Henry Ford.
Dotson showing a little bit of heart and spirit there. Let's see if Sheik Miri can sustain the aggression.
Working for those double underhooks. Try it. Looked like he was setting up the bear hug, but then goes for the front headlock. He just needs to keep snapping it down, working Dotson down to his knees.
Final minute of the period. 4-3, Sheik Miri, 184-pound weight class.
He's going for the pancake, but he hasn't snapped Dotson down enough. But a nice job to just work Dotson down to the ground and get the 2 and go up 6-3 with 30 left in the period.
All our attention is focused on mat number 2, where Henry Ford College is in play. 6-3, Sadiq Seek-Mary. Jacob Dotson is from Siena Heights University. So tempted to call him college, just like Henry Ford used to be community college. Now it's college because it offers those 4-year programs. What do you think about what Seek-Mary's done here? 6-3.
I mean, he's doing a good job of controlling the actions, really stayed in control on top. And again, I don't know what happened for Dotson, man, but boy, since he fell off the back there, man, Seek-Mary hasn't given him a chance to breathe.
And Sadiq's done a great job working for that front headlock when they're in neutral position. Just been able to, he's just got to keep working on that snap down when he gets that front headlock to make things a little easier for himself. Now Sheik Mary will start on top in here in the second period.
Period number 2.
Whoa, he's going for a ride. Look at him. Sheik Miri is starting off hot.
The cradle's there for Sheik Mary. He's just got to scoop the leg.
Starting off hot, got his opponent flat again.
And
Just
nice,
racking up that riding time.
Nice crossface there by Sheik Mary, working to get that wrist control. Try to flip Dotson here on his back.
Now we got some action about to start here on mat number 1 for Henry Ford.
Yeah, 2 Henry Ford wrestlers here up on mat 1. We have Sadiq Sheik Mary on mat 2, leading 6-3. We have Elijah Kidder and Mustafa Adel Maguid here on mat 1 for the Hawks.
The 149-pound division on mat 1. The Hawks are getting at it. Brother on brother crime.
Hawks versus Hawks on mat 1. And we've got Sheik Mary in the 184-pound weight class here on mat 2.
Nice take on mat 2. Nice takedown.
So right now with on mat 1 between Kidder and Mustafa Adel Maguid. Kidder, you know you're the better wrestler. The goal here is to just not embarrass your teammate. You want to work your moves, but work them respectfully.
Yeah, it's political.
Right. It's just be nice. Like, don't make it too quick of a win. That's
all.
all.
You guys ever had a situation where you wrestle against your
Yes.
teammate and there's some animosity in the post match situation?
No, because also in this point too, it's like you can look on mat 1. There's no coaches in the corner. Like it's just, hey, you guys go wrestle your match, and then we all hug it out at the end. Like, because we're all on the same team, we're all working towards the same goal. Just as long as you're respectful to each other on the mat, then we're all good afterwards.
All in the same gang, all in the same family, all in the same clan.
Yep.
I mean, that's a good thing about there being so many competitors today, because on the flip side, I've also had it where I have had to fight a teammate, and we've had to fight best 2 out of 3. So there goes your whole game plan going into it, because he knows what you like to do, you know what he likes to do, and you know each other's strengths. So at least on this one, like we were saying, no coaches. Once they get through this, there's more action to come.
Okay, so we have Henry Ford. 3 out of the 4 wrestlers here on mats 1 and 2 are from the Hawks program.
Sheik Miri is doing his thing on mat number 2.
6-3 in the third period over here, right?
Yep, 6-3 for Sheik Mary. He's the lead over third period. They started in the neutral position. So as long as Sheik Mary can work that front headlock, snap it down, he'll be all good. And over on mat 1, we have Elijah Kidder up 2-0 on Mustafa Adel Maguid. He's got double boots in, looking for power half to get some back points.
So we've got
There's Sheik Mary at that front
nice.
headlock again. As long as he can get Dotson down on his knees, snap down, right there. Now he can work a pancake if he brings his right arm under.
I'm just amazed at how some guys can work from the upper body and go to the lower body. Just the whole concept of some of the strategy.
Right,
Yeah.
and it just all depends what you're comfortable with. If you're the lighter weights, you love to shoot in because you got that speed. If you're the upper weights, you feel like you got that strength, and you can just work on the top. You use what you know best. You know your body best, and you got to figure out, like, hey, I feel like I'm stronger than this guy. Like Sadiq is over here, just he's been overpowering this entire match.
8-3 right now for Sheik Miri, 184-pounder. Meanwhile, over here in the on mat 1,
We're still at 2-0 for Kidler. But he's also got 1 minute and 13 in riding time. So that'll be an extra point for Kidler.
And Sadiq over here on mat 2, 15 seconds left in the match. He's up 8-3. He's pretending to work for something to stall the rest of this match out to get the win.
For those of you watching on YouTube, he's got him down like that the Oklahoma football player was flattened out, man. He's getting that pin.
But the match is over before he can get the pin as Dotson was leaning back. He scooped ahead, but Sheik Mary with a 10-3 win over Dotson of Siena Heights.
and you never want to get pinned, no matter how late or how early it is.
Oh, no.
That is the cardinal sin, but a big win, a good win for Sadiq Shikmiri at 184 pounds.
All our focus will go here. Focus for a second will go here on mat 1 as Vaughn Petty gets ready to wrestle here on mat 2. We have Elijah Kidder 3-0 over
Nice
Mustafa
double leg.
Abdel Maguid. Now
Nice
5-0.
double leg for Kidler. Straight blast double right to it. Now he's putting his boots in, accruing more riding time.
Now explain the riding time for those who
riding
may
time
not know.
is right now in the position. Kidder's in the top position. So as he sit there, the clock starts running up until Mustafa Abdel Maguid gets out into the neutral position.
Okay.
At the end of the match, if it's over 1 minute for your wrestler, you get 1 point at the end.
Okay.
So it's just something like, hey, we recognize you've been in control of this entire match. We're going to reward you for it. And that's something that happens in college wrestling, but not in high school.
And talk to us a little bit about Vaughn Petty at 174 pounds. He's in action on mat number 2.
Vaughn Petty with a nice takedown. He's a state placer, was his senior year, finished 8th at 171 pounds, 43 wins his senior year, and came out nice and quick, gets a takedown in the first 20 seconds, up 2-0. And Kidder over there getting some back points at the end of the second period. He's up 9-0 over Mustafa Abdel Maguid. Oh, a nice switch there by Kuharovic. But Petty's doing a nice job keeping that right arm there, trying to pick. He's holding on to his own ankle to make sure that Kuharovic can't get a reversal for 2. And we get a stalemate right there on the edge of the match. So reset in the middle. Vaughn Petty up 2-0 early with 2 minutes left to go in the first period.
Now, at this stage of the Invitational, what's going through the mind of Coach McKenzie? That's a lot to manage.
It's a lot. Like I coach middle school. We're in these tournaments a lot, and really it's just like you're just always looking around of like, where's my guy wrestling? And sometimes it's hard to go to the individual wrestler and say like, hey, let's talk about this. But that's where you lean on your assistant coaches that are sitting there with you to say like, hey, you know, you need to work on this takedown a little better. This is where you got caught in that match. As a head coach, you're just looking around to be on a mat and get your guys a victory.
See, my next question was going to be about the assistant coach.
That's where this is their important role of the day, is because they're the ones helping the wrestlers in between matches. Head coach, you're just making sure your wrestlers are getting it where they need to be, what mat on time and winning. Assistant coaches, you're helping in between.
And Kyle, I was going to ask you, what does a wrestler do in between some of these matches?
So for me, man, I was always a guy I like to get off on my own. I like to be on my own for a minute. Give me a minute to clear my head. For me, especially in a tournament setting, I'm watching everybody that's in my weight class. So I want to know what you do in your last match. I'm trying to figure out, okay, let me see what worked for you, what didn't work for you, and what in my game is going to be able to help me against you in the next match. Plus, like I said, again, I'm going to harp on it the whole time we're here, but the mental game. So again, for me, I'm getting my mind right, picking out the song I want to listen to, kind of clear your mind before you got to step back on the mat and go back into battle.
Okay, here on mat number 2.
We have Vaughn Petty.
Vaughn Petty, up 2 zip, go ahead.
And right now, he's working for that cradle. You see, he's got the leg locked. He's trying to
drive him for a pin.
Yeah, he's trying to lock his leg around it as well, but we have Kuharovic doing a great job just with that neck strength, just not letting Petty lock it up.
And what do we have on mat 1 just to wrap that up, that previous match?
Yeah, Elijah Kidder won over Mustafa, so again, it was a very nice, respectful win for Kidder, knowing he could have gone out and pinned him in 30 seconds. He let the match play out, let some moves play out, and just won the match easily 9-0.
Just a methodical type effort.
Yep, just works through some moves
Just
that you think
to-
are a little
yep.
rusty, and just have some fun. Don't embarrass your teammate on the mat.
Another way to explain that for again, I come from an MMA background. It's like sparring, man. A lot of times you're in there with your teammates. You're just trying to get some work in, trying to get the heart rate up, trying to move, You know, like you said, we know Kidler, you know, could have gotten the W there, but again, that's your homie, that's your teammate, and it looks like on mat 1 we've got some Muskegon on Muskegon crime now, as we've got Tyler Hill versus Jake Renifer.
Okay, and it's still Vaughn Petty's up 3-zip here in the third period.
Yep, started the second period on bottom, got the escape.
What is the second period?
Yep, second period.
Okay.
Nice Koharovich. He's trying to go out the back door on this shot, and Petty's doing a great job just hanging on, just making sure he doesn't give up that 2. He's just got to keep scooting his hips, and he's got to work those legs out to a sprawl position.
Eric Pate along with Kyle Collison and Ryan Elke here at the Athletics Memorial Building. This is the Hawks Invitational. We're here with you until this thing ends, and we've already had some great action on both mats.
Koharovich was able to work around, get his 2, but Petty still holds the 3-2 lead. And with 35 seconds left, Petty has a chance to get an easy one. Or there he goes, and he
look
works.
At Petty coming out the back door.
Just pulls Koharovich over top. Kind of baited him a little bit, got the weight up front, up towards the top of his head, and just pulled him over. Gets the 2 for reversal, now up 5-2. You see Petty, he's working those legs. He's trying to hook those legs. Now he's going for a tilt here, but with not the greatest arm control there, it's easy for Koharovich just to belly down, avoid the back points.
And Eric, to go along with your earlier question, there you can hear in the background, if you guys are watching the stream, you hear Grant McKenzie trying to tell him to get square with him, get his shoulders to him, and get his back to the mat.
So it's 5-2 heading into the third period. Vaughn Petty leads in this match.
And will be starting on top in this period.
Yeah,
How important is that?
Oh, it was Koharovich's choice, so they alternate choices. So what Koharovich is looking for is a quick escape and then work for a takedown to try to tie this up. If you're Petty, you've done a great job on top.
You just hold him.
Yeah, you worked for your pin, you worked for your back points, and just take Koharovich out of this match early on in the third.
Get on your bicycle, stay active.
I would say take a nap, but this tournament's moving pretty quickly. In the big tournaments, you sometimes have an hour and a half in between matches. But
that's one of the toughest things in jiu-jitsu as well, man. Sometimes you get there, you got to weigh in at 10 in the morning, but you don't even get to fight till 3 o'clock. So it's nice for these guys that they're getting to go boom, 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 and not get too worn out.
If you're Petty here, he's looking for that. He's looking for the switch.
Oh, late 2 points for Koharovich. 5-4, Vaughn Petty.
Koharovich gets the reversal, but Petty's still in a good position. I thought if he kept that leg, he would have been in a great position to go for a switch, get another reversal. But
Petty's trying to come out the back door.
But they're pushed out of bounds. So with 57 seconds left.
What's the strategy? What do you do?
Vaughn Petty, you just work to get up and out. Go up by 2.
Get you another escape point, get you that extra point, and if you get up, take them down, cement the victory.
And if you're Koharovich, Kyle, what's your answer?
I mean, my answer to that is, I mean, he's looking to get a pin here. I mean, he ain't got much time left, but I mean, if you can't, I would get back up and look to hurry up and get a takedown, because even with any type of escape point or anything like that, he still will be 1 point behind.
Right, Petty does have that riding time locked up. He has well over 2 minutes with 30 seconds left.
5-4.
Man, and Petty almost hitting a switch on there, man.
And if you're Petty, you know you're up 2 because you got that riding point cemented. And it looks like Koharovich is going to do the optional start. So he can put his hands right here on his back.
He can put his hands like a diamond cutter, huh, Ryan?
Yep. So he's DDP right there.
Yeah, I was wondering what he was doing with that. I've never seen that.
So
is that new?
It's not new, but it's a strategy, because as the guy on bottom, you don't know if he's letting you up to stand up or if he's just going to jump on top and try to work for a little more leverage coming down hard on you.
6-4 now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Petty's looking for that double leg here.
Petty got the escape point, so he's up.
Trying to use that head to finish the takedown.
And there we go.
And
Petty
that's
will
it.
Cement the victory with a 7-4 win over Glenn Koharovich of Muskegon.
7-4, good win for Vaughn Petty at 174 pounds.
But he didn't hit him with the diamond cutter, man. I'm disappointed.
Now, what's the diamond cutter, Kyle?
Man, the diamond cutter is the match ender, man. You know, you get him, you throw him up, Wow, hit him with the diamond cutter is over with.
Yeah, I'm old school. I thought that was that thing Jay-Z and those guys used to do.
That works too.
So we've got a little break here as we're getting ready for another match here on mat 2. But on mat 1, as Kyle said, it's Muskegon on Muskegon crime. Two Muskegon Community College wrestlers going at it. 1-0.
Yeah, it's a tough match right here right now. Tyler Hill up 1-0 over Jake Renfer.
These boys are getting at it. Got a real slobber knocker out here.
1-0.
But this is what happens too when you know your opponent this well. So you're not going to get all your normal moves because they know exactly what's coming.
How many of these guys go on to Division I wrestling, the stuff we're used to seeing at the University of Iowa and some of the other big programs around the country?
It'd be a little tough, only because here in Big Ten country, you're talking about the best division in college wrestling. Penn State has won 8 of the last 9 national championships. They have 10 teams ranked in the top 25. You look at a team like Michigan State, they're near dead last in the Big Ten. They're 10th in the Big Ten. They're ranked 20th in the country.
Wow.
So it's hard to go up to a program like that. Even you look up to Central Michigan, they're ranked 17th in the country. They have a great program under Tom Borelli up there in Mount Pleasant. So it's tough to look for schools immediately that we know in this area to make that jump because you're going to the elite of the elite.
Well, to go off of what you're saying, I mean, again, I come from an MMA background. I've gotten to train with guys who wrestled at Michigan State, like Bobby Nash. He's now transitioned to the UFC and XFC and all these things. To go off of Ryan's point, yes, they may be at the bottom of the Big Ten, but to show you that pedigree, these guys are stepping up to things like UFC, Bellator, all these different things in that wrestling. The guys that you're seeing from Michigan State, that's why there's like such a level difference here between what we're seeing here from Henry Ford College and Michigan State, why it's so hard to make that jump. Because once you make it to a Big Ten team like a Michigan State or a U of M or any of them, you're on the top level, and that can translate into many other areas.
I guess a clearer or a better question is, who recruits these wrestlers?
So probably schools like Albion, Adrian, kind of those smaller schools we know in this area. You could even hope to try to look into other MAC schools like Cleveland State. Western and Eastern don't have wrestling programs anymore, but there are some smaller schools in the MAC where you're competing against still great teams in the country, because oddly enough, a school like Missouri is in the MAC for wrestling.
Right.
Because there is no SEC wrestling
right.
when it comes to that sport. So you're still facing top-tier wrestlers, top-tier teams, but you're at a smaller school where you have your opportunity.
Eric Pate, along with Kyle Collison and Ryan Elke, just happy to be with you here at the Hawks Invitational at the Athletic Memorial Building on the campus of Henry Ford College all day. We've got some good action. The meet is really going pretty fast. And these guys, Kyle and Ryan, have given us some great insight. So really appreciate that. The production has been well. Make sure you check out the live stream. We got basketball, volleyball. I think our next broadcast will be on Thursday when the volleyball team takes on Terra State at 7, the last home game. Unfortunately, no fans, so no problem. Just come on and get on your YouTube, put in Henry Ford College, and the broadcast pops up. Also, you can go on the Henry Ford College website and get the live stream. So we'll give you this wrestling action. We got some more wrestling coming up later on this season. We'll tell you more about that as things progress here at the Hawks Invitational.
Right, and right now we're just waiting on some Henry Ford wrestlers to come up. I think we'll have Matthew Burns coming up here on mat 2 in just a second. We have Christian Gerber. He's on deck on mat 1, so it'll be a minute before we see him.
Well, Ryan, for those who aren't familiar with the way wrestling tournaments work, I mean, a lot of tournaments style things you see, a double elimination, that kind of thing. Explain for those who don't know, like, how does it work in a tournament format like that? Is it double elimination, round robin?
So it's normally double elimination. So if you lose your first, lose two, just don't lose 2 matches. That's the goal. If you lose 2, your day is done. No matter how many times you win, how many times, just don't lose 2, and you'll continue wrestling. So if you win, you move on to the winner's bracket. If you lose, you move on to the loser side, and then you wrestle as other players keep losing, wrestlers keep losing in the winners, they move over, and that's where you find those 3rd and 4th matches of the day.
On mat 2, we got Matthew Burns stepping up with the red ankle band.
Matt Burns, one of those 125-pounders on this Henry Ford College wrestling team, and he's done well today. And that 125-pound class.
He's taking on Cody Wood from St. Clair Community College.
And we've talked a lot about the 125-pound class for the Hawks because one of their wrestlers, Asil Amudala, is ranked 8th in the nation. When will we see Asil?
I'll have to look up on the bracket, see when he can come up next. And
because it all matters again on that time apart.
Yep. Time apart and just who's in their bracket. Because
right.
we have some sparing teams. Some teams come a full lineup. Some teams just come 2-3 guys. So we might have gotten a couple buys. I'll look into that bracket right now.
Yeah, I surveyed the parking lot, and Ancilla College, Community College, had a car. So that means that you got a driver, and maybe the driver's the coach. And at best, you got 3 wrestlers.
I mean, I'm just gonna say it out here. For me, I think that might be an advantage for that guy. There's a lot less noise. Mm-hmm. You don't got to worry about dealing with everybody else. And if it's just you and the coach, you got all the coach's attention on you. To me, that might be an advantage for this guy, even though he's the lone soldier for that team.
You know, I'm starting to think, Kyle, that you might have been in your own zone when you wrestled.
Hey, man, every time I ever fought, I was that way.
Put the headphones on and you get in your own world?
Yep. I had to, man, because I ain't going to lie to you, dude. Full disclosure, I mean, I'm a kid. I grew up with cerebral palsy and Crohn's disease, man. Okay. So for me to be on the mat and then fighting, it wasn't the easiest thing in the world. So for me, I had to kind of get myself in that mind frame for it, because I ain't going to lie to you, man. Anyone who tells you they ain't a little nervous when they step on a mat or get in a boxing ring or an MMA cage, they're a liar. Now, you might be ready for it, but you're a liar if you say you aren't a little bit nervous. So like I say, for me, I had to get myself ready.
And what high school, Kyle?
Truman, Taylor Truman.
Taylor Truman. And we're 2-2 on mat 2.
Oh, no!
And there's a pin, man. Matthew Burns just got pinned by the wrestler from St. Clair Community College.
It's pinned by Cody Wood. Cody Wood did a great job. He worked that wrist of Burns, was able to bring the entire arm up.
That was quick, though.
But is that an upset? Is that a shocker?
It's a little shocker just thinking how well
especially with how Burns is done. I mean.
Right, and it's just one of those things, too. You have one little mistake, and all of a sudden it's a pin. Like, that's what can happen in wrestling. You don't have time to correct your mistakes.
Facts.
Like, it's not basketball.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, this team went on a 10-0
call
run.
Timeout.
Right, call timeout. It's like, if
No
you make
time
one
out.
mistake, oh, he got my wrist, my shoulder's up, it's over. So you just got to Burns is probably thinking to himself, like, I'm better than him.
It's like the
I
old
can't
saying,
believe I let that
you
happen.
can't play wrestling, you can't play fighting.
Wow. And when you bring up that cage, Kyle, I'm always interested when I watch UFC, when they shut that cage.
When you
it's
shut
like the
that
boxing
cage,
ring.
it's real, man.
One-on-one. So St. Clair County Community College's Wood takes Matthew Burns down.
But we've got another Henry Ford College guy on mat 2. You've got Mustafa McGueed going against Cale Bunce.
Adele McGueed,
Nice sprawl. He's going for the single leg on McGueed. McGueed's trying to keep that balance.
Adele McGueed is a 149-pounder here. Muskegon brought the full house. They brought everybody, didn't they?
And a mullet, too.
And a mullet.
And a
Hey,
mullet,
man,
too.
I'm just saying, Joe Dirt is coming on the mat.
That's a good one. We got the hairstyles now. I don't want to sound like the guy that says "get off my lawn," but we got some funny hairstyles nowadays.
Hey, man, I've seen quite a few guys in the pro wrestling game rocking that mullet lately, man. So Brian Pillman's got something to say about that mullet for our boy over there in the blue.
Cale Bunce, he's got this chicken wing locked in on Mustafa. Mustafa's doing a good job. He's hipping into it, so he's not getting turned to his back.
So we got.
And he's got to get back to his knees. Oh, he's getting off his shoulders, but be careful of that pin.
If he gets his right arm out, he can fight, but
That's it.
Oh, man, McGueed got pinned.
Adele McGueed goes down
To the mullet.
at 149 pounds to the young man from Muskegon Community College.
yeah, Cale Bunce, he did a good job locking in that chicken wing. Mustafa did a great job hipping into it at first. When he got turned, he was looking to get his right arm out to kind of roll with him, but he just couldn't get that right arm out. Bunce did a good job. He brought his right leg in, hooked it himself, And at that point, you're just a sitting duck, and there's not much more you can do when all that weight's right on your chest.
And I noticed that he had the kid from Muskegon had a nice upper body. I mean, he seemed like he was all legs, but that upper body was built like Adonis.
It's amazing when you put things into perspective of other sports, because you see guys like they're wrestling at 149 pounds. They looked jacked. And that's the thing. It's like 150 pounds. You put that on a football field, they're the smallest dude on the field.
I know from experience. I was always the guy that was tore up from boxing and playing football at the same time, but I was always a smaller guy, but I always looked ripped up.
That's it. All right, so now that we're waiting on some more Henry Ford College wrestlers to hit the mat. Eric Pate, Kyle Collison, Ryan Elke, just want to reset everything that we've seen thus far. What stands out at this point of the Invitational for you? First, let's go with Ryan.
Just how gritty Henry Ford's been wrestling. Like they're not sitting here, they're not doing the flashy moves, they're not trying throws or suplexes. They're just continually fighting in matches, working on the top and bottom game. And that's the wrestling I love, because it's just more of complete wrestling. You're not looking for one move to just turn the whole match. You're using your whole set of moves, everything you've been coached ever since you were little, starting this sport.
And Kyle, go ahead. What have you noticed?
So obviously, and like Ryan said, I mean, Henry Ford has really showed that grit, really showed that dog in him. But I gotta say, I mean, again, we're supposed to be unbiased over here, man. These guys from Mott, I just, these guys from Mott over here, man, the Muskegon community guy that we see over here on Mat 1, every guy that we've seen from Muskegon so far has done a real good job of setting up their takedowns. There's been real creative setups. That's the thing that stuck out to me, away from what Ryan mentioned and just the pure fight of the Henry Ford Hawks here.
Well, I'll say that I have been impressed by Henry Ford College's grit, their toughness, their scrappiness, and I'm interested to see as we get down to the finals what's going to happen, who's going to be surviving. I like what Nicholson did earlier over here on Mat 1. So
and you had DeCorius Cooper going on at the same time, who was down 4-0.
That's it. That's a good one.
And he just kept grinding. He waited for his moves to kind of come to him, and was able to roll get back points here, and outscored in the second period 10-2. So it's just not, when you're down, you're not out. And that's what's been nice to see out of Henry Ford, is that they're not getting down early if they get taken down first.
I would say that's the performance of the tournament so far. I mean, that was a comeback win and a dominant one, getting the pin at the end of it. You seen him giving his opponent a little get back from the beginning of that match when he got up. Like I said, to me, that's been the most impressive performance we've seen so far.
Well, I've enjoyed this so far, and it's interesting to see all these wrestlers coming together. I mean, it's easy to do the dual meet things, but when you have an invitational, that's everybody's coming and they're invited, and you never know who you might encounter, and that's the unknown is the good thing about wrestling.
Right, and something Kyle said earlier, like in between matches, you love to try to watch your guys, but they're normally wrestling at the same time as you, so unless that's where an assistant coach can watch for you. But sometimes you're going in blind if you haven't wrestled this wrestler before, and that's kind of the exciting part too, of like, all right, let's just go wrestle my style. Let's adjust mid-period, and let's get going. And looks like on Mat 1, we're about to have Christian Gerber wrestle Richard Ostrander from Muskegon.
And Gerber is one of those 325-pounders that Henry Ford College has brought into this invitational. Asil Almudala, Matthew Burns, and Christian Gerber, those 125-pound weight class guys. And we kind of spotlighted them today, and let's see what Gerber has to offer here on Mat 1.
Yeah, looks like we're just waiting on Richard Ostrander from Muskegon to come to Mat 1 for Gerber. Gerber's looked very good at the start of this tournament. And again, I'm just surprised just how quickly we're running through a lot of these matches. It's just been great wrestling and constant wrestling for an hour and a half so far.
And a lot of finishes.
Yes, lots of finishes. And, one of my questions throughout the week and talking to the athletic director, Rochelle Taylor, was, how long am I going to be here? Old guy like me, I have stuff to do like sleep. But the biggest thing is we've had some exciting matches. They have been exciting but quick.
Right, and normally at the start of the tournament, when you're at the lower weights, those matches move pretty quick because there's guys working for points, and then as you get up, the heavyweights normally kind of drag that pace of play down because they work a little slower. The heavyweights today have been working fast.
Yes. That's a good point. Ostrander, of course, is from Muskegon Community College. That's Richard Ostrander. And in that Christian Gerber is the wrestler in the Henry Ford College singlet.
Getting himself a takedown, getting the 2 points for Gerber on top right now.
Now it looks like attempted to go for a cradle there. Now he's working for that power half. Power half's when you can see that elbow digging into the back of the head and coming up for that half Nelson. You know, if you're a pro wrestling fan growing up, you know the full Nelson. That's illegal.
Know. You got to catch him with the master
lock. You can't do
lock.
the full. You can't do the full. Only the half. The full's too much control.
But you get him in that master lock, boy. It's a problem.
That was my favorite thing back on the playgrounds of Greenfield Park Elementary School.
Right.
Get a kid in the full Nelson, just hold him up there till he just falls.
But that's why they don't let you do it, because then there's no getting out of it.
See, there's wrestling and there's wrestling.
Yep. This is wrestling.
This is wrestling.
Wrestling will be happening probably after the tournament.
Hey, if you're a wrestling fan, make sure you check us out at Knockouts and 3 Counts.
Was that the channel?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That is, we're live every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. We've had the likes of Booker T, Stevie Ray, Diamond Dallas Page, as we mentioned, and more, as well as anybody from the UFC or Bellator.
Well, that's a shameless plug.
Hey, man. Henry Ford is doing their thing, man. Like I said, some of these guys we're seeing here, I think we could see them in a cage real soon. Gerber is doing a real good job of having the control on top. He's got both arms trapped. Man, he's pretty much telling him which way he's going to take it and how he's going to like it right now.
He's controlled the momentum indeed in this early going.
See what he's doing now. He just locked up the chicken wing. Now he's just got to walk slow.
Oh, going for the pin. Oh, watch that reversal.
And a nice roll through by Ostrander.
Ostrander is being scrappy like we talked about Henry Ford. These guys from Muskegon ain't giving it up.
But Gerber did a nice job because of that chicken wing. You got to take it slow just because you could get into a potentially dangerous situation the way the arms turn. But Ostrander was looking right for it, rolled along with him, and got the escape point. And nice shot by Gerber there down low.
And we've got Muskegon on Muskegon. I got to use Kyle's tag on that on Matt too.
And we've got Dragon back here, but a much different story from his last match as he's on his back in trouble from a pin from his boy. Like we said, Muskegon on Muskegon crime.
And Matt 1 has been our main focus and concentration is Gerber.
Yes,
Christian
sir.
Gerber at 125. 2-1 right now. He has
back
the lead.
on his feet. Oh, eye poke.
Wow.
Another thing reminiscent of the MMA game. Watch them fingers, fellas.
Stuff that you don't really think about, but it can happen.
Right, as long as it's not on purpose. You see the Captain Insano eye poke from.
Right.
Or the old Ric Flair hit him with the thumb to the eye.
Or if you're a boxing fan, when the gloves had the detached thumb. That's back in my day. You get thumbed in the eye, and that eye could swell up on you big time.
You ain't lying.
Nice double leg from Gerber there. Gets the 2, goes up 4-1, and right at the end of the period there.
Nice top control. He's got a nice cross face, trying to turn him over for that pin.
Gerber's been working very quick on his feet. He's been just shooting in. He's been setting up nice where he kind of hesitates a little, goes in quick.
The man from Muskegon hasn't gotten up yet. Hopefully he's all right here. Another thing you got to watch out for in these scrambles is the shots to the head, those headbutts, man. You catch a headbutt, that's going to change your flow real quick.
Headbutt or falling down to the mat, you get that quick whip back.
Watch your knee. It looks like it might be his knee.
So let's see what happens between Gerber and Ostrander. Ostrander's looked at the trainers right now. The injury clock is running, so in wrestling you get 2 minutes to kind of evaluate. And at the end of the 2 minutes, you have to make the decision whether or not you can go or not. So right now he's getting looked at by his coach and the trainer. And
that's not that finger in the eye. That's something else.
No, it looked like it was a knee once Gerber got that
takedown. It looked like his knee. He straightened out his knee. It looked like he might have hyperextended his knee on that one.
Then I just saw him rub the eyes, so it's kind of a rough match for the young man.
Oh, it's been a rough match, man. He's seeing double and feeling triple.
Whew. Some of the stuff you just don't think about when you think about the wrestling game. Anything can happen, and just awaiting what the decision is going to be here with the young man. It's Christian Gerber, 125-pounders up 4-1, and the injury clock is down to less than 10 seconds.
But for Christian Gerber, he's got a 4-1 lead right now on Ostrander, man. So looking good for Henry Ford. Hopefully his opponent can continue.
So Ostrander will continue the match. It was Gerber's choice for the second period. He chooses down to start.
Probably looking for a quick escape. There you go. There's the escape point. He's up 5-1 now on Ostrander.
Nice sit out.
Coming right back looking for that takedown. Like you mentioned, Eric, earlier, Henry Ford coming out with that dog in him.
That's got to be good to see if you're Henry Ford coaches, to get your wrestlers some experience here and to just, hey, let it all hang out, show that you do have the heart.
It looks like we've got another Henry Ford guy stepping onto the mat on mat 2 over here.
Yeah, it looks like some blood for Richard Ostrander, so they're going to clean him up a little bit. And coming up on mat 2, we have Gabriel Lee taking on Will Vernier out of, I think, Alma College. Says he's unattached, but from the Alma area.
Wow. So how often do you get an unattached wrestler in an invitation?
In a tournament like this, it's set up just to get guys matches. You'll see that because it's just guys.
It's like a smoker almost from the fight world.
Right. It's just that they just want to come in, get a few matches. Hey, as long as there's a spot in the bracket for them, the wrestling coaches are always looking to get as many matches for as many wrestlers as possible.
Knock the rust off, get some work.
Is the unattached wrestler? He says from the Alma.
Yep, it says unattached from Alma.
Alma College, or
doesn't say what college this is. Unattached.
Gotcha. Gabriel Lee had
takedown points for Vernier here.
And Gabriel Lee was good from what I remember at the end of the match, of his first match.
Yeah, he might be a slow starter. It took him a little bit to get going in his last match. We'll see what happens here.
So Gabriel Lee against Will Vernier from the Alma area, unattached. Of course, Gabriel Lee is from Henry Ford College, 157-pound weight class.
Vernier's got that arm trapped all the way across Lee's body. He let it go, trying to get that wrist control again.
And we're waiting the injury timeout here. 5-1 lead on mat 1 for Christian Gerber. Very good, 125-pounder.
Yeah, right now Gabriel Lee's just having a rough time getting hand control on bottom and working out.
Because Vernier's got his legs all bound up.
Yeah, Vernier's got the crossbody, legs going. He's looking for that, setting up a Turk, looking for the guillotine. It's when you're in the crossbody, you could set up 3 different moves all the same way. So that's the difficult part being on bottom when you're in that, is that you don't know which move's coming.
The guillotine you're thinking of and the guillotine I'm thinking of are 2 totally different things.
A little bit different.
And mat 1, they're back at it. Christian Gerber.
Going against a guy from Muskegon.
Up 5-1.
Watch that takedown. There it goes. Like I mentioned, Muskegon's trying to be crafty, but Gerber getting himself another escape point. Look at that.
Couldn't keep his
he
feet
ran out
in,
of space.
But still back in neutral position. We've seen Gerber just quick on his feet throughout this entire match.
5-1. Gerber has the lead.
Gabriel Lee with a nice roll through and stand up for the escape point over on mat 2.
So Gabriel Lee is down 2-1 and Gerber is up 5-1. They're in the second period, right?
They're in the second period over on mat 1 between Gerber and Ostrander. They're in period 1 here between Gabriel Lee and Vernier.
And Gabriel Lee seems to be in a better position than he was in his first match, 2-1.
Right, and right as they were going out of bounds, the ref hit Vernier with a stalling call. So the next stalling call called on Vernier will give Lee a point. That's huge for a first period stalling call, because now Vernier has to be on edge, on his feet for 2 more periods.
And like we mentioned with the eye pokes and all that, these guys are fighting for head position. You got to watch those headbutts. That's
the smacks of the back of the head, like your parents used to do when you acted out.
It's my old man.
Hey, you dummy.
He hits you right in that hook of the head.
You big dummy.
Gerber working for another takedown here.
Gerber is just tenacious on mat 1, man, just staying on top of his opponent from Muskegon College. And then Gabriel Lee trying to get that boot in, take his back. Oh, he's got the body lock. Let's see if he can get that trip.
He's got to work to return him.
Man, if he sits to a hip, he could do a hip sag and take him down as well.
That's what he needs to do.
If he
so Lee is hit with the stalling call.
Stall,
When you're in a position like that, when you're in control both on your feet, if you're not working to bring him down, like Lee was working, but it didn't look like he was working. So you're going to get hit with a stalling call every single time.
Sorry.
3-1 now. Gabriel Lee is down.
Man, Gabriel Lee's got to look for that hip sag here, and he can get himself a takedown.
Well, Lee needs to look at the hip sag. If he's
the
going
trip.
for a front trip, he should be looking for a back trip.
That's what I was saying. I mean, take his weight with him.
You put your foot right on that back heel, pull him right over it. That's what Lee should have been looking for, because all that weight was moving back.
Drive that momentum forward and hit a lateral takedown too.
And on mat 1, Christian Gerber has increased his lead to 9-1.
This guy from Muskegon the work over here, just riding him like a horse.
Like a Shetland pony right now, 9-1.
Christian Gerber showing him what time it is over here on mat 1.
He's been consistent. He's been steady. He's shown his strength. He's shown some skill, shown his versatility. It's fair to say he's been dominant on mat 1. Gabriel Lee is trying to figure things out here on mat 2, down 3-1.
All Gerber has to look out for here over on mat 1, being up 9-2 with a minute left. There's not much Ostrander can do, except he's got to throw him. You got to look for that too quick on the takedown, look for back points. So if you're Gerber, you just got to protect yourself from being thrown.
How about Gabriel Lee here, 6'3" now.
6-3, looking like at the end of the second period here, now 7-3.
Oh, and another escape point for Vernier that'll make it 7-3.
It's funny because Gabriel Lee started slow in the first match. This time I thought his start was pretty fast, but he struggled as we've gone along.
Right, and sometimes too, it's just about who you're wrestling. If you feel like the other guy's kind of feeling you out, going a little slow, you'll kind of slow up too. And Vernier and Lee have just been moving a little quick in this first 2 periods. And Gerber gets another takedown here at the end of the third, and he'll comfortably win his match over Richard Ostrander, 11-2.
As we mentioned, now we know why 125-pound division is the division that Henry Ford is making light in here today at the Hawk Invitational.
11-2 win for Christian Gerber at 125 pounds. Is Christian Gerber now, is he 2-0 today?
Yes, sir.
That might have been his third match.
That's his third match, so he'll be 3-0 now.
3-0.
So he opened up against Matthew Burns of Henry Ford, got the win there. And he's come out with 2 more victories. So just a great day here for Gerber so far.
What does Lee need to do here in the third period? And what's the issue? Are they looking at the score? Or?
It looks like they're going through the score, making sure everything's correct. So the officials back at the computer, because they're doing all scoring through trackwrestling.com. If you want to follow at home a little more closely the brackets, go to Track Wrestling, search events, search Henry Ford Invitational. And you can follow along a little easier as we call these matches. And also see too when your wrestler is going to be coming up next. So they give mat assignments of when they're coming up. But looks like they're correcting the score, bumping down a point, 6-3 for Vernier over Lee right now, heading into the third.
Eric Pate, Kyle Collison, and Ryan Elke here at the Athletic Memorial Building. Henry Ford College Hawks Invitational. Glad to be with you with Saturday afternoon wrestling in the junior college variety of wrestling, and it's been exciting indeed. And we're glad that you're at home, safe, checking us out on YouTube. If you want to follow Henry Ford College Athletics, all you need to do is go to YouTube, put in Henry Ford College, or just go to the Henry Ford College website and follow us on the live stream. The web stream, whatever you want to call it, you can be right at home checking us out. So glad to be with you. Now they've changed the score back to 7-3.
Yep, looks like they were going to keep it the same. Again, all the scoring's done on the computer, so you never know if there's a slip of a click while they're keeping score. But going into this third period, Lee's just got to control the narrative. He can't go down on bottom and get stuck trying to work out from that. He's got to move quickly and get some points.
Nice fireman's carry on Mat 1.
What does a break like this, which is up to about 3 to 4 minutes so far, what does this do for the wrestlers? Do they rejuvenate, or does it stop
It
a
depends
momentum
on
for the
who
one
you
who's
are.
winning?
If you're the one who had the momentum, you're not liking
That's-
this break because you're already on
Kyle,
top.
that's my
but
point.
I mean,
you know.
if you're tired, which it looks like Gabriel Lee might be, you're getting a little bit of a recharge over here, and they're going to start back on their feet. I mean, this is best case scenario for him right now.
Right, at least for Lee, you can just clear your headspace and just get back into your focus. So you don't have to worry about just like restarting the next period quickly. He can think about his game plan, and he chose to start neutral in this third period, down 4, but Vernier also has a riding time point that Lee can.
Vernier driving for that single leg. Let's see if he switches to the double or hits an ankle pick.
Lee has a nice whizzer and trying to get it out.
Whoa!
Oh, tried to roll out of
He got
it.
the 2 takedown points for Vernier.
Well, 6-point lead. Now Lee has to look for the pin.
Yeah, he has to look for a reversal and get Vernier to his back, because down 6, 9-3, Vernier just riding up that riding time. There'll be another point added on as that's locked up for him. So Lee's got to look for a quick reversal and get Vernier to his back, and that's the only way he can win this match.
Lee is in an unenviable position right now, down 9-3, coming up on a minute. Scored a point there, 9-4, under a minute.
Good sprawl from Gabriel Lee here. He's trying to defend the takedown, get his foot back on the outside. Vernier trying to drive through, still doesn't have the takedown yet. He's got to stay off them shoulders. Another 2 takedown points for Vernier here late.
As this match wraps up with Lee, over on mat 1, we're about to have Cleet Kelly take on Logan Valente, both from Henry Ford.
Man, Henry Ford on Henry Ford crime, man. Good Lord.
I love it, Kyle. So let's see what they do.
Are they going to be both leaving black and blue like the singlet after this one?
165-pound matchup on mat 1 as Gabriel Lee's match is wrapped up right now. 11-5.
Over on mat 1, you have Cleet Kelly. He's in the green ankle bracelet. He's the one on the right having control. Logan Valente in the red ankle band.
Watch for the trip here.
And that was a 12-5 defeat, Gabriel Lee. Are you disappointed if you look at Gabriel Lee compared to his first match, his second match? Are you a little disappointed that, hey, he didn't sustain himself in the last 2 periods in particular?
Yeah, he's just got to work when he's down on bottom, that guy's in control on top. He's got to work quicker to get hand control and get out of that situation. Because he's just lost a lot of time in that aspect, just trying to fight out of there, and he's not scoring points. So I think that's what Lee needs to continue to work on. It's just, hey, get out of that position, be the aggressor when you start wrestling.
At 165 pounds.
Vaughn Petty coming up on mat 2 versus Jamon Spiller out of Ancilla College.
Still out of Indiana, in the
So here's the
like
question,
the north
boys.
central part of Indiana.
These guys have been wrestling all day. How hungry do you think these guys are right now?
That's what
Well, as hungry as us.
I'm curious as to what do you eat between a match?
Small snacks, fruit,
I
granola
was going
bars.
to say bananas, granola bar,
Yeah, nothing too heavy where it's going to be.
Gatorade and water to replenish the electrolytes.
Yeah, nothing that's going to sit in your stomach into the next match.
Don't run to McDonald's, ladies and gents, and don't hit Freddie the Pizza Man.
Nope.
Not right now. Maybe afterwards.
Well,
but not right
I'm
now.
glad they don't sell food. Concessions are not open here, but here on mat 2, we've got
Vaughn Petty on mat 2 here for Henry Ford.
Against Jamon Spiller.
174-pound weight class on mat 2. And mat 1, we've got that 165 matchup.
Palik Kelly and Logan Valente.
And it's 2-zip for Palik right now, Palik Kelly. Moving right along. I mean, this is, as I think one of you guys alluded to earlier, it's going pretty fast.
I mean, we're in about 32 and 33, man. So they've been scrapping out here.
Over here on mat 1, you saw a nice reversal from Valente. Now it's a 2-2 match, and he's keeping that ankle locked up of Kelly's. You can see kind of he's trapping it. That way, Kelly has no shot of really sliding his knees up and getting to a good base.
And here at Henry Ford College, where our broadcast setup is the same place where the Henry Ford College wrestling team has their wrestling mats out. This is the batting cage, indoor batting cage for the softball and baseball teams. A lot goes on in this space.
Making the most of the situation.
That's it.
The only thing for wrestlers in a gym like this, since we're up above, is setups for tournaments like this is bringing the mats all the way down. Because if you think event team setup mats, doesn't matter. Wrestlers always set up the mats. Doesn't matter where you go, where you're at. It's a wrestler that's doing it.
From grade school to middle school to high school
to college.
So I could even say, even on a pro wrestling end, when you see the ring out there, the young guys on the bottom end of the card, man, people don't realize those are usually the guys you're going to see putting up the ring in that as well. And even in a jiu-jitsu sense, a big school like Henry Ford hosts a great place for all that kind of stuff too. So there's multiple uses here at Henry Ford College.
They actually have jiu-jitsu matches here.
They haven't. I don't know they've had one here, but most of the tournaments that are run around here are in this type of setting where it's a big gym, you know, where somebody's got wrestling mats or whatever. Most of the time, like I know we've used the mats from Walled Lakes High School for tournaments and things before, so I'm sure these mats have seen plenty of usage.
I'm gonna have to check out your show.
Please do.
Now that I know.
Please do, man. Anyone who's listening, feel free to check us out. Knockouts and 3 Counts on YouTube and Facebook.
We're 0-0 over here with
Vaughn Petty.
Yeah, the two big boys are getting at it. It's been a scrap at 174 pounds.
And we got a close one on mat 1 with the 165 pounders.
Well, it looks like Palik Kelly is up 4-3 on the screen down below. We can see it haven't been updated on our on-track wrestling yet. So Kelly leads Valente 4-3 right now, midway through the second period. It looks like over on mat 2, though, Vaughn Petty will start the second period on top. And for Petty, you try to work, get those back points. Don't let Spiller get up and get an early 1-0 lead and go back to your feet.
And as you can see, folks, we've got double box going because we got Henry Ford College Hawks, 3 out of the 4 wrestlers in competition right now. 165 on mat 1 and 174 on mat 2.
Looking for the snap on the head on mat 2.
Spiller's doing a nice job with those spin drills on top of Petty.
Spiller's like a bulldog over here, just staying right up in him.
Stalling call hit on Kelly. So he's not looking to work to move forward. And if that's what happens, you keep backing up as a wrestler, that's the easiest way for a ref to call a stalling call on you. So you keep backing up. They want you to move forward, wrestle in the center of the mat.
Mat 2, Vaughn Petty's trying to get his head back. Spiller's working on the head snap over here, trying to catch his range. They separate a little bit.
Nice, good match going on both mats right now. Both 1-point deficits. Over here on mat 1, we have 2 Henry Ford wrestlers. Kelly leads Valente 4-3 heading to the third.
Third period. That's going to be a nice one. So we'll keep our eyes close on both mats 1 and 2.
Nice switch, and then a re-switch is almost happening there for Valente.
The reversal work in this match on mat 1, even though it's Henry Ford versus Henry Ford, man. Vaughn Kelly's driving for that single leg. Let's see if he switches to the double. Oh, nice whizzer from Spiller.
For Petty here, you just got to keep trying to lift that ankle up and get Spiller's weight back up front. Because he's leaning hard on it, just trying to kick out.
So would that be a stall call on Spiller there?
So it's a stalemate.
Okay.
They're both trying to work out. So stalemate's when nothing's happening, both wrestlers are working hard, but they're just not moving. It's like, hey, let's just hit the reset button. And over here on mat 1, we got a pinning situation here. Looks like Kelly has Valente in a cradle, minute left in the third. And Valente is able to break the lock of the cradle, but Kelly gets 4 back points and extends his lead up to 8-3.
Here on mat 2, Vaughn Petty trailing 1-0.
1-0 going into the third. Gets his escape point. Now we're all tied up. Riding time not a factor right now as of yet, so it's a true tied match.
And on mat 1, they're still scrapping it out, even though it's 8-3 for Kelly right now. No, is it 8-5? Is that what that says?
8-3. No, you're correct.
Okay, good. Don't mind me. I wear glasses for a reason. I'm blind, people. Even when I boxed without glasses. Maybe that's why we had to fight in close.
And they're counting it down here on mat 1. Mat 2, there's a issue here.
Another stalling call on Kelly right at the end of the match, but that's the end of the third period. So Philippe Kelly will win over Logan Valente 9-4.
And on mat 2, it looks like Spiller has himself a 1-0 lead over Vaughn Petty. It looks like they're trying to tally up the points, so we'll see here momentarily.
Right. Petty started on bottom. He escaped, got the escape point, but was never added on the scores table. So right now they're trying to just get the score right. It should be 1-1. Right here in the third with a minute 42 left to wrestle.
Why does that happen so often? I mean, I know we watch NFL and NBA and other professional sports, and they go to the review. Why does this happen in wrestling? Just want to be sure, or what?
Just be sure, because the ref knows he gave the escape point, and if you're running the clock, running the score, you may have just not seen him hold up that 1 for that player. So it's like the ref pointed out, said, hey, that score's not right. Here's what happened and when it happened.
Just to make sure nobody's getting shortchanged.
That's it. And you always want to get it right from an official standpoint, so that's a good deal.
Right. And
all tied in 1.
For wrestling too, in the bigger schools now, they've actually added instant replay where they don't go to it voluntarily. Coaches get challenges now where they can look back and challenge takedown calls to work for the wrestlers. So that's something new in the college game over the last few years.
Jawan Spiller taking on Vaughn Petty.
Getting the takedown points. It's 3-1 for Spiller. He's on top over here against Vaughn Petty.
Petty here, you got to work for that quick escape and get a takedown. And there's the quick escape.
There's the escape.
Now he's down 1 with 45 seconds left.
We got a slobber knocker, ladies and gentlemen. They're getting at it, 3-2. Shoots for the takedown, got the single leg. Let's see if he can finish it.
Great job by Spiller, kicking his leg out.
Spiller's trying to check his oil.
If you're Petty here, you need to circle to that leg and try to hook it. Oh, he's good for
Bundle
the
the legs, bundle the legs. Oh, no. Petty's trying to bundle.
So they call out of bounds.
So with 18 seconds, folks, what do you want to do if you're Vaughn Petty?
Get a takedown.
Pop the head and go for a double. Pop the head.
He was doing exactly what he was doing. He's got to go for this double leg.
He needs to go. There we go.
There he goes, shooting in for it. He's got the single. Let's see if he can finish. He's trying to step around.
Pop that head out.
Nice finish.
Oh, he called
nice finish.
He got the 2 points at the horn. And that's a clutch win at the buzzer.
Nice finish for Vaughn Petty, coming up clutch at the end.
I mean, if you're Vaughn Spiller, I mean, you got to be dejected there.
Right, and this is an instance too where I was just talking about replay. If this was in Big Ten wrestling, you'd see the coach's challenge. I'd say, like, hey, no, we were out of time. So you'd see, and there's Jawan Spiller showing frustration, opening the door very loudly. We've all been there as wrestlers.
Wow.
Facts.
there's going to be a locker in the locker room probably looking a little different in a few minutes.
And that's the beauty of it, because you look over at Henry Ford, conversely, all the pats on the backs for a guy in Vaughn Petty who is, I mean, he's spent on that over there in the corner with the rest of his teammates.
Right, because he was going
that was
all
a
out.
dogfight.
Right, he was going 130%
But those
that
pats
last
on
minute.
the back have to help rejuvenate him and give him some adrenaline there.
Right, and that's a
great
match you
adrenaline
remember
rush.
too, because you don't get often in wrestling like buzzer-beating
At the
wins.
buzzer. Man, that's like a 3 at the buzzer.
Right, that was a buzzer-beating takedown as time was expired. So, and it could have gone the other way. Like that ref could have said, no, out of time, doesn't count. So he thought there was at least half a second left to give that to Petty and the win.
So we've had some exciting wrestling indeed. Kyle Collison and Ryan Elke on the color. Eric Pate on the play-by-play. Everything here that you want to know at the Hawks Invitational at the Athletic Memorial Building. Just glad to be with you. Hawks Invitational, Henry Ford College. And we will have some more Hawks on the mat soon.
I'm just glad there's not a Hawk wrestler right now, because the adrenaline from Vaughn Petty's match is just, we need a little bit of a cool down for a second before the next guy gets up.
Enjoy the moment as it
Right.
happens.
Enjoy Vaughn Petty getting that. Like I said, you don't see buzzer beater wins like that in wrestling. So for Petty to get that 2 right at the end, down 1. It's just, and that's a match Petty's going to remember for a long time, because situations like that don't happen.
Right now we've got on mat 1, we've got a Siena Heights University wrestler against a St. Clair County Community College wrestler. And then on mat 2, we got Mott versus Muskegon Community College.
We'll have some Henry Ford wrestlers coming up soon. Coming up next on mat 2 is Christian Gerber of Henry Ford. And right after Christian Gerber, we'll see Caleb Nicholson also up on mat 2. So,
And Caleb enjoyed his first match. I mean, that was he showed consistency throughout the match, and if I recall correctly, had a pretty good victory.
Caleb had a great showing in his first match.
He's and I love the gold boots. So let's see what he has.
You're talking about pokes to the eye, looking out like the Nate over here. Coming out with them gold boots. Ooh, nice takedown.
Eric Pate, Kyle Collison, and Ryan Elke. It's the Hawks Invitational at the Athletics Memorial Building. I want to remind you, on Thursday, we've got Henry Ford College women's volleyball as the Lady Hawks, or the Hawks, take on Terra State. So make sure you tune in at 7 o'clock. We'll bring it right to you.
Man, Jared Roll with another pin over here. That's the second pin for Roll coming out of Mott Community College against Alan Powers from Muskegon Community College. Jared Roll might be a problem out here in the heavyweight division.
He's a load, and I look at this kid, I'm saying, get him on the football field. Let him play defensive end. He looks like
this man in a cage.
He looks like J.J. Watt. He's a big fella.
He looks like a young Brock Lesnar out there. Get this man in a cage.
Football
Just get
background.
him everywhere. Just
get him football, wrestling.
That's the best about wrestlers. And they transition to, whether it's UFC fighting or it's football, their body's ready for it. So that's the benefit of wrestling, is that what it translates to those other sports is huge. Because you'll hear football coaches all the time, like, I love my wrestlers.
Right.
Because especially the ones that are on the defensive line, because they're on all fours, they're digging.
That's it.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, when it comes especially from the MMA game, I mean, a wrestler comes in with that advantage, because when you're in a fight and you've got the ability to take your opponent down at will, which a lot of these wrestlers, when they come in, do, because, you know, when you come in with that college wrestling background, man, you know, you can sometimes be able to dictate the pace of the fight. And when you're at the end of a fight and are able to take your opponent down and hold him there, even if you're not doing the most damage, man, you know, coming from jiu-jitsu tournaments, a wrestler is always hard to deal with, because they might not be able to submit you, but like you said, they can control you.
Right. So coming up here on mat 2, you have Christian Gerber, who's 2-0 on the day. You have Alex Cantu, 2-0. Cantu has 2 pins on the day. Gerber has a pin and a major decision. So this is to see who's the best one in the bracket right now between Gerber and Cantu.
Okay, a good match. Indeed, that's what we're looking forward to on mat number 2. As we got a double box where you can see both matches going on simultaneously.
Gerber just has a nice shot. He's able to just shoot out from so far away. Oh, but a nice throw by Cantu and a quick pin.
That was quick. 31-second pin.
So, man, we've talked about it all day with the guys from Muskegon and their takedown setups. Man, that was quick in a hurry. Got a takedown on our very own Christian Gerber in that one. Good Lord.
Gerber had a shot. It was a little far out, but he goes in for the shot. Cantu was able to get those underhooks in, brought him up, had the leverage, just threw him right down on his back, and just stuck Gerber for a quick pin.
Cantu getting in some sprints here after his quick victory, 31 seconds to be exact. And what happened? I mean, wow.
It was a nice shot defense from Cantu. He was expecting that quick shot. Gerber was shooting from a little far away, and he's coming a little closer next time. Because Cantu, he's a good wrestler. We see he's 3-0 on the day with 3 pins. I think his match time is under 3 minutes for those three matches. So Gerber's got to shoot in from a little closer because Cantu is ready for it. Had the underhooks, was able to throw him down to his back.
Okay, so now we've got Shakayla Nicholson at 141-pound weight class on mat number 2.
Against Chris Lilly from St. Clair Community College.
And Shakayla with the gold boots, we talked about him. He's got the red band. And he's centered up and ready to go. Siena Heights on mat 1, the big fella's there, gets a win.
Yeah, with the small bracket, 141, this will be Nicholson's last match of the day, just a 3-man bracket, so they're kind of just going to go round robin. Nicholson gets his 2 matches out quick. This is Lily's first match of the day. Nicholson but won his first match, though, 3-1 over Carpenter from Mott Community College.
Nicholson pacing. He seems to be ready. And Chris Lilly from St. Clair County Community College is there. And so here we go.
Full leg sleeve looking like Allen Iverson off the leg out here.
And so here we go on mat 2.
Nicholson with a good sprawl attempt, trying to keep his hips heavy. Oh, takedown early. But the escape point for Nicholson, he shoots back in on a takedown.
Both wrestlers moving really quick.
Good recovery for Nicholson.
Nicholson is he's cat quick, to use one of those analogies there. And let's see.
Yeah, I don't think Nicholson expected Lilly to be this quick
That's
off
right.
the whistle, too.
These two are quicker than a hiccup, man.
So now you'll see Nicholson probably change up his game plan, saying, all right, I'm going to be a little more aggressive because Lily's not going to sit back. Nicholson with a nice 2 there, gets a takedown. Now just needs to work on stretching Lilly out and getting him to his back.
3-2. Nicholson with the lead. Now it's 3-3. As Lilly just scored. Glad you can be with us here at the Hawks Invitational. Nicholson, a 141-pounder for the Hawks.
So we saw a lot of fireworks in the first 30 seconds. Now both wrestlers slowed down a little bit. Nice slide by attempt there by Lilly.
Battle for head position.
These guys are figuring one another out in this first period.
I say, just right off the gate, Lilly came in with a nice double leg, Nicholson was able to get out, get his takedown of his own. Then it's been really slow paced here for the last minute. At this point, too, you're hoping Nicholson can start working for something, having his back to out of bounds. Watch the ref throw stalling up soon if Nicholson won't move towards the center of the mat and wrestle in the middle of the mat. Oh, missed headlock attempt from Nicholson there.
Oh, he's checked. Oh, nice trip. He's
Nice
back to
crawl
his
there.
feet, though.
Nice whizzer there from Nicholson. He kept that arm up over and under of Lily's arm. Able to keep control, and so Lily couldn't get the takedown. Great defense there by Nicholson.
10 seconds left.
Coming to the end of the first period.
Where's
All
the clap,
tied,
man?
All tied at 3. You wanted to hear a clap with 5 seconds left, right, Kyle?
Used to that 10-second clap. Blah, blah, blah. But like I said, it's a close match so far. Nicholson's really doing his thing. Good job to get back to his feet on that one. It looked like he was going to suffer a takedown maybe late.
It all started, too, because he saw Lily's head hanging, so he went for the headlock, just whiffed on it. Both arms came through, but he's able to fight back, get the whizzer in no-point situation. So it was a great recovery there from Nicholson. See Lily trying to lock up a tilt here. He's got that underhook there on Nicholson's arm. And Nicholson's doing the right thing, bellying out, trying to break the lock so he can reset his bottom position. And it's
Got
almost
action.
a Granby attempt here from Nicholson as he's hooked Lily's leg. But Lily's just sitting too far down on his hips to really hit that.
We've got action on both mats, but our focus and attention is on mat 2, where Shacaleb Nicholson is into a match here, tied at 3, second period.
If you're Nicholson, you need to escape this round with some points. Because Lily's accruing that riding time right now. You had choice in the second period, so it's going to be Lily's choice going into the third. You need to get a reversal and an escape here before the period ends.
Let's see if Nicholson can accomplish that.
As long as he keeps lifting that leg up, you can if you get his left ankle free.
Nicholson's got to try to turn into him here.
Just got to lift that leg up with him.
Nice.
And there he goes, gets the reversal for 2.
Reversal for 2 points. Let's go. Good job by Nicholson.
You guys called it 5-3. Nicholson has the lead in the second period.
And for Nicholson here, you want to wrap up that leg. Try to go for a stack. Nicholson's just going to hold that position. Yeah, let time run out.
Let me ask you something, fellas. As the person comes from the scores table to inform the official that time's running out, do wrestlers see that on the mat? Did you guys see that on the mat when you wrestled?
It all depends where you're facing. Like Nicholson probably couldn't see it, but that's where you also have your coaches and you have your fans yelling out, hey, 5 seconds, short time, short time.
I was going to say, you always kind of know where you're at in the match just based upon the things around you. If you've got good people in your corner, then they should be letting you know where you're at on the clock.
Because that 2 and 3 minutes can be an eternity.
You ain't lying.
It's 4-3 right now.
5-4, Nicholson
5-4.
lead.
Okay, my eyes deceived me, and I have an excuse because I'm 57, and I'm not wearing my glasses like I should. 5-4, Nicholson in the third period.
Here we are in a tie-up. Nicholson's got both hands on the back of the neck here, trying to snap him down.
So you see Nicholson, he'll try to attempt a snap down. He's putting all the pressure into Lily to go back. That's when you can just come back, snap him down right to his knees.
What are the things that Nicholson wants to avoid at
Boyd
5'4".
just getting taken down, so
Yeah.
he just needs to be the aggressor to not get a stalling call on him.
And not let his opponent get head position in this position either.
Right. See, Nicholson has an over-under set in, so it's just don't look for a throw here from Nicholson, but look to just eat up some time and look like you're wrestling. He's going to try to snap him down soon to try to work for that late 2.
Under a minute, headed down to 30 seconds left in this third period.
Yeah, about right now, Lily's going to go into fire mode and just start shooting shots off to get that 2. So Nicholson needs to push that head down on this shot.
Nice sprawl from Nicholson. He's got to get that leg back.
See, there you see the coach is yelling out short time with the timer out here, about to hit the official.
Got to get that ankle back.
If you're Nicholson here, you ride it out.
And that's it. 5-4 victory for Nicholson over Lilly. And Nicholson, a 141-pounder. Caleb has looked very good today.
A great match, because he just knew right at the end of the match, too, where he held Lilly in place. He knew he was on the edge of the match. He didn't want to keep going out to have it restart in the middle of the match. He goes, I'm going to ride it out here because I'm up 1 and he can't take me down.
Did you guys notice he raised his hands up and looked up here?
No.
He looked at us. He knows that he's on YouTube right now, and that's a good job
That's
by
what you're talking
Caleb
about,
Nicholson.
young buck. Get you that camera time.
That's it. You got to get it. So
Pulling a page out the pro wrestling book. Be looking at the camera like you see him in the UFC as well, man. Talk to that camera.
That's it. Well, Caleb has been impressive.
Talk that talk, young man. Talk that talk.
And so he's 2-0 on the day. And good match.
All right, so Nicholson will win his bracket because it's a 3-man bracket. He wrestled his 2 matches. He goes 2-0. So congrats to Caleb Nicholson for being the 141-pound champion of the Hawks Invite.
So we've got wrestlers from Muskegon and Siena Heights University on mat 2 now, and Mott Community College, and I want to say St. Clair County Community College on mat 1.
Coming up for Henry Ford wrestlers in the hole on mat 1 is Palik Kelly. So he'll be up in 2 matches here on mat 1. And then coming up on mat 2, Elijah Kidder. He's on deck, so he is up next here on mat 2.
Okay.
That's what's coming up for Henry Ford wrestlers.
And we just saw a pin on mat 1 from the young man from St. Clair County Community College. Pinned the young man from Mott Community College.
Cameron Haslin with the pin over Micah Kingan.
And then here on mat 2, we've got Muskegon Community College taking on a wrestler from Siena Heights University.
Yep. Cale Bunce out of Muskegon up 10-0 here on Jonah Seekman. They'll have Elijah Kidder coming up real soon here on mat 2.
And in case you're wondering, we got wrestlers from Henry Ford College, of course, as the host, Siena Heights University, Muskegon Community College, St. Clair County Community College, Ancilla College, which is located in Indiana. And they'll be in for a basketball game on April the 3rd. So you learn something every day when you come out here at Henry Ford College. Eric Pate, along with Kyle Collison and Ryan Elke. It's the Hawks Invitational, Athletics Memorial Building on a Saturday afternoon. Glad to be with you. Is this the last day of winter?
I hope so.
I know it's daylight savings
daylight
time.
savings time. I think winter starts on the 14th.
So remember, clocks jump forward tonight. So
That's it.
yeah,
We're losing our sleep, and we underneath this we got Caleb Nicholson getting some sprints in. These guys, I mean, it seems like they have endless energy. Endless energy.
I mean, in the gym they have endless energy, but I know for a fact wrestlers, when they get home, they're not doing anything. It's
They're
because
going to be watching the UFC fights.
it's because all the energy is spent in this gym.
That's it. But that costs too much. The UFC stuff
No, it's free tonight.
It's free tonight?
What do you mean?
On ESPN?
It's a fight
What is it,
night
on
tonight.
ESPN or what?
It's ESPN, yep.
Okay.
Yep, you've got Bilal Muhammad is going to be taking on Leon Edwards tonight.
Well, see, you said the magic words, free.
There you go.
Because that cable cost me a fortune. And I'd rather check out this free variety than that pay variety. That pay variety is killing me.
So have some fun. College basketball all day, UFC fighting at night, which I always like watching the UFC at night because there's nothing else to watch.
All right,
on,
who are you picking? You going?
I don't know. I don't know enough about UFC. I'm just there to all right, let's have some good
watch out
matches.
on that upset tonight. Bilal Muhammad is the one to watch.
Well, we almost had a UFC breakout of the basketball game yesterday with Juwan Howard
I know.
and Mark Turgeon.
I know Juwan Howard.
What did he try to call for a timeout?
Well,
no, that's Chris Weber.
That's Chris.
And
See, that's now, Kyle. I got to tell you, man, that's some bad humor.
There was some
you
rumors.
Piss our U of M fans.
I'm a U of M guy myself.
There was rumors too that Turgeon said don't hang banners because you're. But that was not true. There's Turgeon denied it. Juwan Howard denied it. I was in the post-game press conference yesterday with Juwan Howard. He was just like, he said, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me ever again. Apparently Mark Turgeon has a huge issue with Juwan Howard and the way he handles officials and opposing players.
But then Turgeon does the stuff that Ryan hey, worry about your own bench.
Right.
He's out the box. He's out the box.
Right. Like, out of the coach's box, it's like we're all out of the coach's box.
Give us a break.
Like we're all out of the coach's box.
All of them are. High school, all the way up, even middle school games.
Right. So
I mean, that means they're into the game, man. Like I said, people want to nitpick things.
But, we digress. We got to get back to Mat 2 here.
We have Elijah Kidder here on Mat 2.
Putting in that work over here.
Seems like this has got to be match number 3 for Elijah.
Yes.
Elijah Kidder, 149-pounder.
He's taking on Brody Kemper out of Mott.
Elijah Kidder 2-0 on the day against Brody Kemper 2-1.
Kidder, a national qualifier last year in the junior college. Academic All-American out of Royal Oak. So I know the OAA league he wrestled in really well.
That is probably one of the strongest leagues in this area and arguably in the state. When you look at some of the sports, basketball, football, the wrestling, young girls softball, I mean, they have some powerhouse programs spread out.
Yeah, so there's just talent everywhere within the OAA, and that's what's great about it. So Kidder here on top here has both legs in. And they're trying to get dug out, but he sinks that half in. And Kemper able to get out of that half and to work a reversal.
Good job by Kidder getting the escape point here.
Kemper's kind of trying to be the aggressor in this one. He saw the little shove at the end of everything. Kidder, much more calm, cool, collected type of wrestler.
Back to his feet. Oh boy, takedown points for Kemper. Kidder's got to get back to those feet, get him another escape point, and try to get another takedown here.
Now 25 seconds left here in the first period. If you're Kidder, just work for that one. Get that hand control back. You can look at an outside stand-up right now, but Kemper's really harping on that right side. Kidder, if he just can stand up with this. But
get that arm back. Kidler's got to get that arm back. He got his arm back. Hit the fireman's carry. Oh, man.
Good job by Kemper there just to hang on to that arm. If he didn't, he's getting a 2 for reversal. He had the double leg almost locked up there. Just when your right arm's tied behind your back, you can't do anything well.
4-3.
You know what they say, a one-arm man in this case in a butt-kicking contest doesn't work out real well.
Brody Kemper up on Elijah Kidder in the 49-pound weight class or weight division. Second period on Mat 2. See if Kidder can mount the comeback. What are these guys thinking right here?
Kidder, you're just thinking, okay, this guy has some good takedowns. I need to be the aggressor here. And there he goes with a
He's
shot.
shooting in on a double. Nice sprawl from Kemper.
Just as you said that, he shot a move.
He shot in, but he went in a little too deep, and he didn't really set it up. He didn't tap the head. He didn't go for hand control. So not the best shot from Kidder.
Oh, he was getting it on the way out, but ran out of real estate.
But your Kidder there, like, you're showing your opponent, though, that, like, I'm not sitting back and waiting.
He's showing him what's good is what's going on.
You're right, Kyle. He did run out of room.
He ran out of real estate, but he was going.
The aura in the building.
Nice ankle pick there from Kemper.
The aura, the tempo, the atmosphere. Just gotta love wrestling. Oh, man.
Is he claiming?
There's another situation that you never think of.
I think
like
he's claiming he
hurt his right thumb.
Thumb, like it got hyperextended. It was, I don't know what he was claiming there, but that was just a weird exchange.
I think he might be saying Kidder
bit
his thumb back.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a
stuff you don't think about.
Right, when you're on the bottom, it's actually a rule. You can't grab just one or two fingers and pull back. You gotta grab all four. No one ever really thinks about the thumb, but like they don't want the fingers being pulled out.
And Ryan, you see what I'm doing. People can't see me, but I'm shaking my hand. That sugar honey iced tea hurts.
So sympathy pains that we all know too well watching sports.
Woo. Now over here on mat 1, we've got some Henry Ford.
We got Palik Kelly over here on mat 1.
Palik Kelly at 165 pounds. He's got some nice size on him. Good frame. See what he does here. Shooting a move early.
And right here at the end of the period on mat 2, Kemper given 2 more back points, up 10-4 going into third over Elijah Kidder.
And over here, Palik Kelly, 165-pounder, as I said.
Shout out to all of you guys watching on YouTube. Shout out to Corey and Brian. I see you guys watching on Twitter, man, checking out this great Henry Ford wrestling action. Kidder's got to get back to his feet here, get an escape point or something, man. He's down 10-4.
Down 10-4, he needs to work to get some rolls, get Kemper to his back. We have Kelly over here struggling a little bit in the bottom position. No points awarded yet. But there's Kidder with an escape. Goes in with the high crotch. And a justified stalling call on Kemper as he just tried to get out of that situation. So if you're Kidder, minute 22 left in the third, down 5, you need to keep pressing Kemper to get those stalling points now. Kidder, you don't have too much time to kind of feel everything out. You're down 5 with a minute 5 left. You need to start pressing a little more.
And what do we have on mat 1?
Mat 1, we're in the first period, 2 minutes into it, minute left. If Palik Kelly still just going 0-0. And a nice shot in by Kemper, but Kidder's doing a nice job with that wizard in. Pushing down on the head. He needs to get his ankle free. Over on mat 1, Kelly's fighting for 2. He just needs to get that right ankle free. He does and gets the 2 points. And on mat 2, a stalemate called. So 30 seconds left for Kidder. Down 5, he needs to work for a throw and get Kemper on his back, but Kemper with a nice ankle pick right off the
Shot
wall.
by Kidler on mat 2. Way to get back to his feet and get the reversal escape point.
And I'm surprised they just called stalling on Kidder. Which
For what? He was getting back to his feet, man.
Right.
Somebody's got to check this ref's glass.
Right, an ankle pick off the whistle and just trying to get out. I don't understand the
This
stall.
man was defending a takedown.
Kidder, you got to work a throw right here. That's your desperation move.
And on mat 1, man, Henry Ford has got that ride time. Hitting him with the Bob Backlund chicken wing. Uh-oh. Watch out.
And that's it, 10-5.
10-5, Brody Kemper over Elijah Kidder of Henry Ford.
Kidder, what do you think of his performance, Elijah Kidder's performance at 149 on this match?
Well, just came out. Brody Kemper was just ready to wrestle on his feet, and it was coming explosive off the whistle. And if you see how Henry Ford's been wrestling throughout the day, they're not shooting right off the whistle. You see other guys coming out, and that's one thing you can notice when other wrestlers are wrestling, what their first step is off the whistle. If it's kind of like the, all right,
Kelly with the
let's
nice
stand
snap
up.
down. Takedown for Kelly, 2 points for Kelly. Nice snap down, finished the takedown, followed him down to the mat.
Yeah, if you see him kind of being relaxed off the whistle, that's a perfect opportunity to just
Using
go
that
in.
forearm, man, giving him the work with the face wash to the mat.
And Kyle, what do you see here on mat 1?
I see Kelly trying to get this pin real quick, hooking the leg.
So he's got the nice cradle. He just needs to bring
He's
that
got
left
the
leg.
cradle. Here it comes. Watch out for that pin.
He just needs to try to get that leg in the side, that left knee. If he can dig in the side, those shoulder blades will go down.
There's the pin for Palik Kelly. Henry Ford getting the dub.
Look like an old school hog tie to me.
Hey, man.
That's
They
what
always
that's
tell
what
you,
it
hook
feels
that
like when
leg.
you're in it.
Wow, that was executed perfectly.
A 5-0 clip. Andy gets the pin. Great performance from Palik Kelly in this one. Getting the W for Henry Ford.
All right. And here's the young man.
And
here.
it looks like we've got Spiller coming back on.
Yeah.
He just went with Henry Ford's own, and you got him taking on Kyler Koch from Muskegon Community College.
And it doesn't get any easier for Spiller. I mean, he was frustrated on the loss at
And
the
he's
buzzer.
coming out to make a statement right away with the double leg and 2 points for Spiller here.
And let's see.
Boy, this guy's got a future in MMA. I'm calling it right now.
Let's see his determination here, because he was highly upset, as he should have been, losing it at the buzzer. Now here we're
He's
gonna go
showing
to
people.
Yeah,
He's showing people what's good, man. He's trying to make his way back. Henry Ford back on mat 1.
Who we
Sadiq
got?
Mary up on mat 1 versus Bronson Jewell of Muskegon.
I'm gonna call him the Sheik, man.
You're already putting these guys in the pros.
Hey, man, you got to do. Somebody's got to do it. That's our job, to put these guys over.
184, 184
They're
pound matchup.
deceptively for 184, man. I wouldn't have guessed that without having the run sheet in front of us. Like Brian talked about, for these guys being cut down, they are ripped up right now. Sheik Miri looking for that, getting his head control. Nice defense on the takedown, looking for a trip.
Both wrestlers 1-0 on the day. Jewell had a tech fall, so he's up 15, got the pin over Mott's wrestler. And then Sheik Mary with a 11-3 win in his first match over Dotson of Siena Heights.
So Sheik Mary has had a decent day as well. So
You see the best two of the bracket right now.
Wow. So here we go. Good intense action on both mats. Spiller over here on mat 2 and a 4-1, has a 4-1 lead. But
He's trying to make up for that last match, but Henry Ford is getting at it on mat 1.
That's Sadiq Sheik Miri.
Sheik Miri's got the good head position on this one. You can see his opponent trying to get it back, man. When you got a guy driving his head into your jaw, man.
And that's what I was going to ask. Where do you want, guys, when you're standing straight up, where should that head be?
You need to be driving that guy's head up. If his head's up, it makes him easier to be taken down. Takedown for his opponent here. Sheik Miri's got to get back up, get that escape point, and look to get back to his feet.
See Sheik Mary just standing right up. He's just got to clear those hands off his stomach right there. Get the 1.
All right. He looked like he was cruising there, Sheik Miri, and all of a sudden, things changed.
Sheik Mary's been able to get the over-unders, but his hips have been too far under him to really take advantage with any leverage.
2-1. Sheik Mary trailing by 1.
See, there he has a nice setup. He just gonna need some work for that trip. Now still 2-1. Sheik Mary trails here in the first period as it winds down with 10 seconds
He's
left.
back to his feet. Oh, nice double leg from his opponent, man. I've said it all day with the guys from Muskegon, but man, they must work the stand-up game a ton.
4-1, and that's the end of the first period. Sheik Mary finds himself down on a 2-pointer. Down 4-1 headed to the second period. What do you make of what you saw, guys?
Sheik Mary's had good positions, just haven't been able to capitalize on it. So you still feel okay, because even though you're down 3 points, you just got to execute a little better.
And his opponent, man, like we've said all day from the guys from Muskegon, man, like just different creative takedowns, and that one was a basic, straightforward blast double that he got at the end of the round. But Sheik Mary's on top here.
Starts the second period on top. He's looking to dig that
Dump
arm.
him. Here he goes, looking for that suplex again.
There he goes. He pins that right arm. Now you have a little more control, and he's going to go for a chicken wing. There, Sheik Mary, you just got to keep working at it. Grind this one out and wear your opponent down on bottom. That's the best thing you can do when you're riding the opponent on top, is that he's exerting so much on bottom to get out, and it'll wear him down in the third period.
As we got the single view right now on this matchup, 184.
Sheik Mary looking for that takedown.
Sadiq Sheik Mary.
You know, an escape point for his opponent. The last thing Sheik Mary needed.
At what point is Sadiq Sheik Mary?
He needs to go for broke right now.
That's what I'm alluding to. I mean, is this that time?
It's that time. It's time to drive it like you stole it, bud. Go for broke, throw the kitchen sink at him.
Still a lot of time. Still a whole nother period.
Man, 2 more points for his opponent here.
7-1.
Sadiq, you need to get just at least 1 more point before this period ends. We're up 30 seconds, down 7-1. Need to go in this third period with a smaller deficit.
I just think Sheik Mary has not matched Jules' intensity.
No, Jules been Jules just seems like, too, he's a lot stronger than Sheik Mary. Because even if Sheik Mary can get what he wants, Jules been able to overpower him.
Jewel is jacked, man, so I'm not surprised by that. Dude looks strong.
Nice step through there by Jewel. That opens up the hips and the shoulders on Sheik Mary.
7-1 at the end of the second period, and Sadiq Sheik Mary has got to be looking for a pin. What do you think on this one, Ryan? Does he have enough time to accumulate these points in 2 minutes?
There's always enough time. The pin just takes a half a second.
That's it.
That's all you need, is to be able to get him on his back. But Jewel has shown his strength throughout the entire match, to where Sheik Mary needs something quick. So even when he's working for this cradle right here, you just see the strength of Jewel being able to just break that lock quickly.
I see a lot of these wrestlers on their phones. Nothing's changed there. It's like being at the mall. Everybody's on their phone. Hopefully they listen to some good music or texting their folks and letting them know we're on YouTube.
Probably keeping
Sheik
track of
Mary
that
back
Michigan
on top
score
here,
right now.
man.
What's that?
They said they're probably keeping track of that Michigan basketball game right now. Tied up at 36 with Ohio State.
Wow.
Called out of bounds. Sheik Mary, 1:15 left here in this third, down 7-1. He's got to get Jewel on his back.
And Jewel has been stout in the sense that he hasn't allowed himself to get
He's
hooked
a real
and slammed.
bulldog, man. He holds his base real well,
That's
even
it.
when he's on bottom.
And you can just tell, like,
You're not
Jewel's
just
so
coming to
much
slam him. I'm sorry.
I want to say, Jewel, you can just see the strength throughout this match. And that's where
All you got to do is look at the man.
He's
Right.
tree trunks for legs. How
Shooting
about
it
that?
on the single leg. Mary needs to sprawl hard.
he needs to sprawl harder and push down on that head, but Jewel can just pull down on that leg and get the 2 going up 10-1.
And on mat 2, our guy from Ancilla recovered with an 8-1 win in his match. What was his name again? I forget. Spiller. Got the win, 8-1. But now we're on mat 1 total. As Sadiq Shikmeri, 184. Having a tough time, 10-1.
Yeah, it looks like he'll drop this one with 10 seconds left in the match. He'd need a miracle roll into a pin. But you just tell Jewel's strength just was the deciding factor.
That's the difference in this one. That boy is raw bone.
That's it, 10-1. Jewel takes the win over Sadiq Shikmeri in the 184-pound weight division. And Muskegon, team-wise, has performed very well. Every time you look up that blue and gold,
they're driving for takedowns, man.
And coming up for Henry Ford wrestlers after this match on mat 1, or excuse me, in the hole. So yeah, after this match on mat 1, McVeigh will be up for Henry Ford. In the hole on mat 2, Grant Imus. So we got some Henry Ford wrestlers coming up here.
Eric Pate, along with Kyle Collison and Ryan Elke. It's the Hawks Invitational here at the Athletics Memorial Building. And guys, while we have wrestlers from other schools on the mats, this is kind of get folks caught up on what we've seen today.
Seen just some good, quick wrestling and just a lot of finishes. We've seen some very aggressive wrestling from Muskegon. Henry Ford, they've been really gritty about trying to just work the entire match, work things out on top to flip things over. But we also seen some exciting matches. We saw one with Vaughn Petty with a walk-off buzzer beater win over Spiller. You can see Spiller's emotions spill over as he runs out of the gym, slams the door open. But we've just seen some great matches throughout the day.
I mean, you've seen a lot of guys just really scrapping for it. Like you said, Eric, throughout the broadcast. I mean, Henry Ford, they've had some losses today, but they've been scrappy in every match they've had. Then we've had guys like Jared Roller, who's just been pinning dudes left and right. There's been a lot of good action here. We've got another Henry Ford guy stepping back onto mat 1 over here.
Michael McVeigh's coming up right now.
Just real quickly, guys, I like Shaquille Nicholson right
Yes,
now
sir.
at 141, and let's not forget Decorius Cooper's quick work and his comeback. So those are two guys that stand out from Henry Ford. But right now we got Michael McVeigh at the
Taking on Michael Nikoriak from St. Clair Community College.
and that's clearly a match we want to see Michael McVeigh redeem himself.
Oh,
Big boys are going at
big
it.
swing for a
There
headlock
you
there
go.
by Nikoriak.
He's getting a takedown. 2 points for McVeigh. He's got that ankle.
Great instincts there by McVeigh to avoid the headlock swing.
Man, he is all over his opponent to start this match.
He's just got to keep working, keep walking it over. Big steps to walk that over, and he'll eventually go.
And guys, let me just say this. What I've noticed about this today is no one's just overpowering someone. You got to have some technique. You got to have some skill to this. This is not high school.
No, they say every wrestler, they pretty much all have the same accolades you do. So that's why when coming to colleges like this is that you're getting great competition in each match.
That's a key word, competition.
Competition is king, ladies and gents.
If you're not here to compete, you might as well just go home and sit on the couch and listen to our broadcast because these guys go at it. And McVeigh trying to get some control here in the first period.
He's working for that power half. It wasn't happening. She didn't try to roll the wrist out, but Koriak's doing a good job moving on bottom.
Nice rebound for McVeigh, though. He's had a tough start so far and is really looking good here in the opening moments of round 1.
Right, he's looking very active. And now he's got the half sink in again. I wonder if they're going to double him. They're calling for a full Nelson.
What?
But it looks like his right hand might have slipped up when running.
So did they disqualify him?
No, it's just 1 point. It's 1 point for Nikoriak. They just stop, reset. Koriak will go back on bottom. So it's just a penalty point, but if you do enough of them, they will kick you out because you can't keep breaking the rules.
Got to watch that full Nelson. And this kid from St. Clair County Community College, and that's Michael Nikoriak. He was a little upset after his last match, which was a loss. And so it's interesting to see how he'll come back.
From McVeigh.
He showed a lot of emotion on that loss.
Way to come around, get 2 points, get that point back for that full Nelson call.
4-2.
He's really quick on his feet. We've seen some attempts here by Nikoriak, whether it's headlock or the shot there. McVeigh's been able to avoid it all.
Another escape point for his opponent, Nikoriak.
Back and forth type first period, 4-3.
He needs to get his arm free and get back into a good position. Just like that. 30 seconds left here in the first period.
Kyle, you know anything about McVeigh's background here? Where is he? What did he accomplish in high school?
So he's from Westland, Michigan. He came from John Glenn High School. He's coming in at 285. He's a freshman here. He's still young to the game as far as college is going, man. But I mean, like Ryan's mentioned, a tournament like this is going to give him a good chance to get a lot of reps out here on the mat. It's going to get him some good experience against different looks, different schools. Like you said, we've got 7 schools here today. Like I said, it's good experience for all these guys, but McVeigh is putting a really good showing for himself here in this second match, kind of redeeming some of his earlier performances.
I'm telling you, the football to me is looking around at some of these guys and saying, sign him.
I mean, that boy could hit. I could see him playing defensive end or something.
That's it.
Defensive tackle.
That's where you want the big wrestlers. You want them on the line.
Right.
Yeah, Nikoriak was rubbing that left shoulder as we start the second period, 4-3.
Nikoriak has that spiral right in, that right arm down in on the thigh. McVeigh needs to dig that out and work on a stand-up. Looks like he's dug the hands out, just needs to get wrist control. Nikoriak's doing a good job riding this out, but this isn't turning into points. You see McVeigh, as long as he keeps scooting his hips, he can get a 2 here. Keep that leg and scoot those hips. And there you go, McVeigh with
another
the 2-point
2 points
reversal.
for McVeigh here.
6-3, second period. McVeigh and Nikoriak.
Seems like McVeigh's very comfortable on his feet because he's just, after that full Nelson call, it seems like he'd rather wrestle neutral than be on top.
Well, we've seen the refs make some calls that maybe we didn't see. The full Nelson one was a little bit more, a little bit closer, but I don't blame him. Just keep getting those takedowns and rack up these points.
Right. If you know you can take him down, keep going at it. And full Nelson, it's a very ticky-tack call because it can
get off your knees.
6-4. That was a mistake.
Watch them shoulders. He shot from too far.
Yeah, a move that went wrong.
He shot. Oh no!
He got pinned. I saw it coming.
Man.
And that's the same thing that happened to Christian Gerber a few matches ago against Cantu. A far out shot, they're able to get those underhooks in and just bring them right over.
And McVeigh missed it, and Nikoriak,
he shot from too far out.
Yeah, responded. And that's it.
What a recovery for McCormick. I mean, dang. Henry Ford had that one in hand, and clearly one false move, and you got caught slipping.
How does that happen? I mean, he
You're
was in control.
too much, though.
Yes, I saw it when he shot the move. I knew he was out of position.
And that's how quickly he can things can
because
turn
if
here
your
in
arms
wrestling.
are too extended out, you
Well,
don't
it's
have
just-
your base enough under you to try to be able to defend it or to be able to keep your legs up to sprawl, making it easier, like we saw, for him to get put on his shoulders.
For Nikoriak, he could see it coming. It's so far out. He's able to get those double underhooks in, come under his shoulders, just flip them the way he wants to.
Did he telegraph that, Ryan?
He too far out. Same thing happened to Christian Gerber here a couple matches ago, where he has a great shot,
That's
but when
why,
you're too
like-
far out, you're giving your opponent too much time to recover.
Well, that's why looking at mat number 1, you know, for those of you watching at home, you know, that's why touching the head is so important. If you can touch the head, you know you're close enough to hit a shot. You know, and he shot too far out and extended himself, as Ryan said, as we see in mat number 1. You know, they're touching heads, grabbing arms, grabbing wrists.
Wow. Well, just like that,
That's the way
Michael.
the cookie.
That's the way the cookie crumbles, as you say. But Michael McVeigh takes it on the chin. That's a tough loss.
It's a
It
very
is,
tough loss.
because you feel like you're in control that entire match, and to not only lose it but to end up getting pinned. That's the one though you look back and go, I know my mistake. If I see him again, it's going to be a different story.
But it's good experience, though, because he was able to have the upper hand for the majority of that match, too.
What's his weight? Is this it right here?
That's
yes,
his
sir.
real weight.
227.3 up.
227.30. And I bet you he had to cut a lot.
Well, no, because wrestling at 285, he can get up to 285.
Yeah.
So
So he didn't have to cut anything.
he doesn't have to cut, but that's the risk you run in wrestling heavyweight is that you can weigh 227 and you're wrestling someone 270.
270, right.
Like that's a lot of weight you can be giving up. So that's the dangerous spot of going from 197 to 285. That's what we're about to see with Grant Imus coming up here on mat 2 for Henry Ford.
We've got more Muskegon on Muskegon crime on mat, too.
Because Grant is 197, like just a shade over. He's a pound over the 197 weight class, and he's wrestling 285.
Right.
So he still has another 2 weeks before his weight will let him drop down. Because they have to take tests to see a certain body fat percentage.
What do you call it, the skin thing they used to
We used to call it the fat test.
Right.
Just because they pinch your fat to see how much body fat you have. You're allowed to go to a certain weight. So Grant's still another 2 weeks allowed to drop down that weight class. So he's giving up a lot of weight today.
And that's Grant Imus right
That's
here.
Grant right here on mat 2.
Mat 2. So here we go on mat 2, Grant Imus.
You know, Grant being a taller guy wanting to use his longer arms, but a takedown on Imus.
Grant's just got to stay in good position. I coached Grant throughout middle school. So he loves to use that length, but he just needs to stay in a good position.
Did you get a chance to talk to him before this?
Uh,
I talked to his dad before this. Grant was out warming up, didn't want to disturb that,
Right.
but it was nice to catch up with his dad. And he was the one telling me about why Grant's having to bump up to heavyweight today, just because he's got to wait his time and wait for the test to allow him to drop that weight.
And it's got to be tough when you know going into it you're going to be outweighed.
Right, you feel like it's a disadvantage.
Oh,
because-
it's definitely a disadvantage. You
Right.
know, in grappling, you know, you always hear people say, you know, weight doesn't matter. I very much disagree, because if you've got a guy like we see here in the man from Muskegon who has got the takedown technique and the weight, that's a problem.
Now, is Grant okay here?
Yeah, it looks like he
Looks
had
like
a
he might
shoulder
have-
wrench.
Yeah.
I think maybe just one of those things that catches up to you after the adrenaline goes away after when the whistle blows. But
Yeah. And the trainers at Matt's side, near Matt 2, checking things out, making sure he's okay. He's a lean, tall kid, and the kid he's wrestling against from Muskegon, it looks like a true heavyweight.
so Grant here on top, he just got to use his length. He needs to use a spiral ride, stretch him out, use your long arms and legs, because that's your advantage there when you're the taller one on the mat.
10-0 in the first period.
Grant Imus has got to get busy. You don't want to hit that 15-0 clip, man.
There he goes, tries to sink the legs in. Oh!
Oh,
Wow.
boy.
That's tough.
Man, that's a lot of weight coming down on you. Again,
Yeah.
this is where that size is going to make a difference.
Grant's trying to work that banana split. They're both trying to work really the same
Wow.
move. Muskegon, he's trying to work a spladle. Grant's working for a banana split here, but wasn't happening for Grant.
Oh, boy. Getting his back off the mat, but he's got to get up here.
Trying to keep those. That's it.
And there's the pin. I think weight was the difference in that one.
Oh,
Man.
without
He did a good job of being able to use that weight.
1 minute 32 seconds, or 33 sec. 1 minute 23 seconds on the pin, and that's a tough one, but shows some heart.
I'll say that's the rough spot when you're Grant, giving up that much weight, because you saw Muskegon when he wanted to throw Grant around, he stood up and just threw him over. So with Grant, you just got to keep working. You'll be able to drop down to a weight class 197 here in a couple weeks, and then we can see more competitive wrestling out of him as he's facing people his own size now.
That's right.
Brian, what's the time period on that? Like, how do they judge your time period? Because I know in fighting, you've got a lot of times when a guy gets a concussion or a knockout or whatever, it's like a 6-month thing. Obviously, it's not going to be 6 months. But what's the time period before you're allowed to cut like that?
A lot of it too is just like, hey, like you gotta just do it natural. You don't want to be dropping the 15 pounds in a week, be unhealthy for that week, and having to keep repeat itself. So you just need to do it at a natural, nice diet way. Well, that's why you see a lot of wrestlers if there's a weight they want to be at, they cut that weight before the test, and so that way that's what the test will tell them where they can go.
Okay, now we've got Decorius Cooper at 133 on mat 2 for Henry Ford. Decorius Cooper
Against Cameron Haslam from St. Clair Community College.
and St. Clair County Community College has a decent program.
Cooper's doing a real good job of moving his opponent around. He's just going to watch the arm control of his opponent.
He's got the headlock.
Oh, nice throw for Cooper. And he's got the pin down. Nice hip
Keep
toss.
that arm, though. He's got to keep that arm.
Don't let him go over top. Oh, boy. He's got to get the boots. Nice reversal from his opponent. Cooper got a little overzealous on it and got taken over the top, but he takes him right back over.
And that's now we've been talking about Muskegon all day, but you got to appreciate Cooper's effort right out the gate.
Right.
Facts.
He came out ready to wrestle. He hit that nice headlock. He lost the arm. So you have the head and then you have your arm with you. That arm came loose, and that's where Haslam was able to bring him right on over. So if you're Cooper, it's like, hey, great move. Finish it.
Finish
now.
it.
You just got to finish it. You had him right there on his back, so it's more just like take a small breath.
6'3",
6'3" Cooper lead.
and he's a
Should
tall.
be trying to do the points in my head. Should be 2 for takedown.
Right.
It all depends how many back points they gave him. If they gave him 4, then that'd be 6, and escape should be 7.
And he's a tall, rangy kid carrying that weight, and that could work in his favor, as it has. I mean, he shot that move about as quick as I've seen today. 53 seconds into this match, 6'3".
Yeah, so it looks like they're going to go to the score table, try to figure out the score, because I don't think 6'3" is correct, because I think there's a few more back points thrown in there, at least for Haslam's sake. So, referee at the scores table trying to work out, make sure we have the correct score going on.
Cameron Haslam out of St. Clair County Community College. Can't forget the county. Got to mention the county. Taking on Henry Ford College's Decorius Cooper, 133-pound weight class. How tall would you say from here? You look at Decorius Cooper. How tall is he?
Ooh, 6, closing in on 6.
Yes.
Man, they are getting at it. Cooper coming out strong again. His opponent reverses. He was in trouble of a body lock takedown here.
Cooper's
Good
a
hips,
strong
though.
base.
Good Lord. 2 points for his opponent here.
So they went and corrected the
6'3".
score. They had Haslam at 3. They didn't award him any back points. They just awarded an escape after the headlock by Cooper. So they started in neutral, and then Haslam able to get the takedown for 2. So that's how we get to the score of 6-3.
6'3" is the score. 133 left in the first period.
We've got another Hawk coming around to mat number 1. You've got Matthew Burns taking on Richard Ostrander again.
That's a rematch of an earlier match.
Cooper's got caught with his arm up. A nice half. No. So Haslam went in for the takedown. When he comes up, Cooper just caught it with that right arm up, and Haslam was able to sink that half in and bring him right over.
Well,
So that's just the
nuances.
the centimeters and inches that just cost you an entire match.
And Cooper was up 7-5.
Yeah, he was up the entire match. Came out through a great headlock. Just one little mistake of not keeping that arm down when he was coming down from the takedown, that cost him the entire match. Now we have Elijah Kidder coming up on mat 2. We have Matthew Burns coming up on mat 1.
Kidder, of course, 149-pounder. And over here, Matt Burns, 125. Keep eyes peeled on both of these as they're about 13 seconds apart on the clock. Here, Hawks Invitational, Eric Pate, Kyle Collison, and Ryan Elke. Glad to be with you. Hawks Wrestling here at the Athletics Memorial Building.
Potentially dangerous call here,
boy.
so it's
He
no
was jacking
stoppages.
that knee up.
It's just to avoid injury. There's no penalty points awarded. It's just like, hey, let's keep them safe. We don't need blown out knees, torn shoulder, so those restart from the neutral position.
Muskegon shooting in on a double leg on Kidler. Switched to a single. He's got it hiked up. Kidler's doing a good job. Got the leg trap.
See, there's
That's
a potentially dangerous
potentially
right there on
dangerous.
mat 2. Just keep these wrestlers safe.
Kidder at 149 on mat 2. Burns at 125. Got good action for both Hawks wrestlers right here. No score on both mats.
Stalling call on Burns there. I'm not sure why. Maybe because he is forcing Ostrander out of the mat. Again, these refs, they want you working right in the center mat and keep wrestling going.
Man, it looks like Elijah Kidder has got the man that we were talking about with the mullet from earlier.
Zero on both
Yeah,
matches.
we're at a stalemate on the stand-up on both mats.
This is
There's Matthew Burns going
Oh,
in.
nice.
Nice recovery from Burns there on mat 1.
Way to jack up the underhook.
Ostrander and Burns met earlier, right?
I'm pretty
Earlier
sure they
today?
did.
It might have been Gerber.
Gerber.
Uh-oh, 2 points for Green here on mat 2. 2 points for Cale Bunce. It's 2-0 on Kidler. Oh, Kidler's got to watch the pin. At least he's back to his knees. 2 more points for Bunce.
Over on mat 1, Ostrander has a lead over Matthew Burns, 2-0.
Elijah Kidler's is in danger of that pin. You got to watch that neck. He's got a good bridge.
He's got a good bridge, but good work by Muskegon to keep him in the mat.
Kidder just got pinned here at mat 2. Over here on mat 1, they've got a 2-1 dogfight.
Bunce is putting in work. Man, here's the question, guys. After watching this dude, is it because of the mullet?
The power of the
Is
mullet.
it mullet power is powering this dude?
Just
This
as-
guy gets in and gets out. You don't see him posing or nothing.
Yeah,
Cale Bunce is out the building, running around, keeping himself warm, man. This guy is all business.
And the power of the mullet, if you ask John Kruk, the old Philadelphia Phillies
Yes, sir.
first baseman.
John Krucky, baseball tonight's finest.
And so 4-1 at the end of the first period, Matthew Burns finds himself behind.
But this is still a very much winnable match for Burns over here. And we've got another Henry Ford wrestler stepping onto mat 2.
Well, real quickly, what do you think of Elijah Kidder's performance there, Ryan?
Just got stuck in a bad position. It's been a rough day for him. 2 losses, so If you're a kid or you just think you just got to shake this day off. Because you've all been there and having rough tournaments. So as long as it doesn't carry over into the next one, you just got to learn to stay off your back and just keep fighting.
On mat 2, we've got Mustafa Abdel Magweed for Henry Ford taking on Jonah Seichman of Siena Heights University.
So we've got Henry Ford action on both mats right now.
Burns down 4-1 here on mat 1 in the second period. Oh, nice.
Mustafa Adel Magweed.
2 points for Jonah Seichman on mat 2, getting a takedown.
Adel Magweed at 149 is behind here on mat 2. In the first period, just started.
Here, Matt Burns just getting worked on top by Ostrander. He's really digging that elbow in. It's a 4-1 lead for Ostrander over Burns on mat 1. 30 seconds left in the second period. Mat 2, you have Seichman
Up 2-0.
up 2-0 right there in the first over Mustafa Adel Magweed. If you're Burns, you just got to break that lock here over on mat 1. You got to break that lock. You got a French donkey kick to get your left leg free.
Oh, trying to hit a switch.
Burns is running some trouble, but looks like time will run out. So heading into the third period on mat 1, Richard Ostrander of Muskegon leads Matthew Burns of Henry Ford 4-1. Over on mat 2, we're doing double box here. Jonah Seichman of Siena Heights leads 2-0 over Mustafa Adel Magweed. Burns will start on top to start the third period.
For our Henry Ford fans, we got one on top, one on bottom here. I mean, we've got a couple of scraps on both mats.
And a point for Ostrander, so it's 5-1 lead now. He's also got a riding time point.
Nice defense of the takedown on mat 1 for Matthew Burns. Oh, boy, that looked nasty on the shoulder.
Oh, Matthew
Lord.
Burns is hurt. Looks like he rolled his ankle when Ostrander rolled with him.
Boy, that looked nasty. Man, we hope Matthew Burns is okay. That looked nasty.
Yeah,
that got all rolled up.
You could hear him when he rolled over. Ankle got caught in a bad position. Over on mat 2, it's near the end of round 1. Seichman leads Magweed 2-0. 19 seconds left. It's over on mat 1. Matthew Burns is getting looked at over a roll.
Definitely been a tough day for Magweed today, man. He's really been scrappy in every match we've seen, but man, he's had a tough day today.
It's been rough, and it happens.
Every day can't be Christmas, folks,
Nope.
and when you step on there, you know the risk you take.
There's the end of the first period. Seichman leads Magweed 2-0. There's the coin flip. Right now it's Magweed's choice. He has choice of top, bottom, neutral, defer. He chooses to start the second period on bottom, down 2-0. And over on mat 1, Matthew Burns getting looked at right now for a rolled ankle. So right now he trails Ostrander 5-1, but more just about his ankle, see if it's okay.
Another takedown for Seichman on mat 2, man.
Oh, nice grab by Seichman.
Magweed's in danger of getting those shoulders to the mat.
He's got to watch that shoulder. The ref's got to watch that
Seichman
shoulder.
is driving that whizzer through.
All right, so they'll call the match between Ostrander and Burns. Ostrander wins on injury default. So we just hope Matthew Burns' ankle is good. Right now he's sitting, so he's just not putting any weight, not being able to put any weight on
He's
it.
still visibly in pain, man. He's still red. McGuede is trying to battle his way back out here, man, but
Yeah, down 7-0 over here on mat 2 for McGuede versus Seichmann.
McGuede's got to try to get back to a knee, hit a short sit through, something.
Right, Seichmann's got that chicken wing in, so McGuede's just got a hip in,
loose.
and he looks like he's gone under too and grabbed that wrist. And right now I see Matthew Burns being carried off the mat, rolled his ankle in this match. I'll hope Burns is okay. He's gonna be taken right to the trainer's table here under us. Get a stalling call here on McGuede in the second period. He trails 7-0 to Jonas Seichmann of Siena Heights.
Some of these stalling calls, man, I just don't understand. You got a man driving your face into the mat.
And these refs just want to get out as quick as much as anyone else. So they don't like how quick you're moving, they'll let you know.
I feel you, but man, it's a little hard to move when the man's making you eat that white line there. Like I referenced earlier, man, it's starting to look like that YouTube video you saw with the Oklahoma football players, man. Good Lord.
That's why check the ears before you start a bar fight, folks.
You never know if the little guy knows his stuff. I'm living proof.
Start of the third period, Seichmann chose top because after that second period, he realized he can control.
McGuede is doing everything he can to get up, but man, he's just got to be, his gas tank's got to be on fumes at this point. Baby, how about a push?
Right, because he's been working on bottom pretty much, seems like this entire match. Seichmann's just going to try to ride this out as he's up 7-0. If you're McGuede too, you already got one stalling call on you. There's the second one, so it's going to be a point for Seichmann. Go up 8-0. Right now.
Now, for those at home, now when you hear a coach say something like "keep scoring," at a certain point, is there like a level between sportsmen and wrestling like there is in baseball about running up scores?
Well, when it comes to tournament settings, the way you win, if you win between 0 and 7 points, that win counts towards a team score. You get 3 team points. If you win between 8 and 12 or 8 and 14, that's 14 points. You get the technical fall, that's 5. You get the pin, that's 6. So not necessarily sportsmanship. You're just trying to get those team points to be the team winner of the tournament.
Man, you got to feel for McGuede in this one, man. It's not like he's not fighting, but dang, this man is all over him.
Right. It's just been Seichmann just grinding this one out. Just on top, just being able to control the entire match. And if you're McGuede, you just need one special moment here. You just need one turn. Now they call stalling, though, on Seichmann because he's not working to return McGuede back to the mat. Late here in the third period, you have Mustafa Del McGuede down 8-1 to Jonas Seichmann of Siena Heights here at the Henry Ford College Hawks Invitational. And that'll be a match at a point for riding time. Jonas Seichmann beats Mustafa Del McGuede 9-1. And Kyle, as you were saying, that's just a rough match all around for McGuede.
That's a rough match. You know, McGuede never gave up, man, but his opponent was on that boy like white on rice.
Right, so yep, coming up here on mat 2 for Henry Ford, you have Palik Kelly coming up against Vernier, unattached out of the Elma area. And we're here. Thank you for joining us on the YouTube stream of the Henry Ford College Hawks Invitational. I'm Ryan Elke. We have Kyle Collison here.
We've got another Henry Ford Hawk stepping on to mat number 2.
Yeah, you have Palik Kelly against Will Vernier.
Vernier had a good showing in his last match, so I'm looking forward to seeing how Palik does in this match.
you're Palik, you're in that head-to-head tie-up, but you need to work for something a little more. You need to start touching the head, start bobbing it, work for those shot setups. Stalling call here on Will Veneer. Just not working back to the center of the mat, but we have Palik Kelly here on mat 2. Early first period, 2:15 left.
And what do you think so far out of Palik Kelly?
So far, they're just feeling each other out. Palik's just been in this head-to-head tie-up. Needs to start working the duck under, some slide bys where you're just getting the arm past you, getting the leg open, because it looks like Will Veneer's not going to give it up. He's staying in great position.
Got a chance to run into Coach Grant McKenzie, downstairs and just kind of talked about the performance of some of his wrestlers. And he was pretty pleased, happy with what they've accomplished thus far. But all in all, the coaches, as I ran into them, they were pleased to be here. They're all happy to be at the coach from one of the coaches from Mott Community College, which is ecstatic just to be out of the house.
Right.
And I think everyone's anxious to kind of get back to normal, especially in sports. And it's weird to see these guys wrestling and to see on the sideline everyone has the mask on because you have to stay in that COVID protocol. And the training, how much you think the training has been affected?
See, wrestling was the one sport that I thought was going to be the hardest to pull off during this pandemic, just because we are close together, we are close-knit. So I'm just glad we can all be here safely and have this great sport.
Yeah, I mean, I think every program here at Henry Ford College, when you talk to the coaches, has said it's been the training has been intermittent. Because it's on again, it's off again, it's on
right.
again.
And again, with wrestling, compared to other sports, like you're right here with each other. You're right next to each other. So it's hard when they're putting out these protocols. It's like, what do we do then? Right. Because look at what sport we do. So I'm just glad we're here and we're doing it safely. And we're giving all this opportunity to 7 different teams to come in and get their wrestlers matches.
It's a great point, Ryan. And Eric Pate, along with Kyle Collison and Ryan Elke. It's the Hawks Invitational. We've had a great time here. Long day of wrestling, but Henry Ford, the wrestlers have fought. They've stayed scrappy. 4-1.
Palik Kelly, down 4-1 here on mat 2. He gets the choice for second period. You get the choice top, bottom, neutral, or defer in the second period. He chose to start in the bottom position, looking for a quick escape.
And once he gets up now, he's got to shoot a move.
Yeah, he's got to set up his takedowns better. He's been in a lot of ear-to-ear tie-ups. Now he's bobbing and weaving, trying to see an open spot to take a shot at that leg. So it's nice to see him kind of moving a little. You see Veneer has the same mindset too.
Did I miss someone getting injured?
Matthew Burns got injured. He rolled his ankle pretty bad. Just in a natural move, just got rolled over. So hope Burns is doing good. I haven't gotten an update yet, but
we got double action going on mat 1, but mat 2 has been our focus with Palik Kelly, the 165-pounder out of Henry Ford College.
Kelly down 6-2. A minute left here in the second period. And for Kelly, at this point, you're going to be resetting here soon. Called out of bounds, but he got a quick escape at the start of the period off the whistle. Look for that again right at the whistle. See a nice quick stand-up to try to get an escape.
Palik Kelly finds himself in a tough situation with the unattached wrestler from Alma.
There you go. Kelly gets his one. 30 seconds left, so look for Kelly to try to set up something here shortly to get 2 more points before the period ends.
6'3". Malik Kelly for Henry Ford College is 165-pounder. Nice, lean, got some height on him.
Yeah, it's got some nice length and reach for his weight. But again, we've seen a few shots from Henry Ford wrestlers where they've been a little too far back. And I'm sure Coach McKenzie is going to watch back these matches and he goes, I tell you all the time, when you think about a shot, take 1 step closer and then do it. Because we've seen Gerber cost by a shot too far away. McVeigh cost a match because he shot too far away. So right now they just need to work on getting 1 step closer, setting that shot in, tapping the head and going.
And on the other end, we had the shot at the buzzer.
Yeah. You had Von Petty get a nice 2-point takedown as time expired over Spiller. And probably our match of the day, because we're not going to see a more exciting match than that one.
And that's how you shoot a move, right?
Right. Yeah. So and that too for Petty, it's like everyone knows the shot's coming. There's 5 seconds left in the match, and you're down 1. So the fact that you can go and get that shot and execute it just shows how talented Von Petty is.
Okay, 6'3" or 9'3".
9'3", yep.
I have to get these glasses. I promise I'm going to start wearing them. Ryan, I got to accept the fact that I'm 57 and I need them more for just driving and reading. It's 9'3". And what if you're in this match right now and you're Malik Kelly, what do you want to accomplish?
At this point, with 40 seconds left, you're looking to get a throw to try to still steal this match. Now Vernier gets the takedown. They're going to call a break real quick because bloody nose for Malik Kelly. But so he's going to start in the down position when they restart. 30 seconds left. You need to get out and you need to work Vernier to his back. That's really what it is. It's not like other sports where there's no like 15-point shot in basketball. There's a 15-point shot in wrestling. It's called a pin.
A pin.
So that no matter if you're down 1 or down 14, with every second in that match, you still have a shot to win. So that's what Malik Kelly is thinking is like, with 30, 40 seconds left, I have a shot still to win this.
And they stopped the blood on Malik Kelly's left nostril.
Yeah, just plug it.
Yeah, just plugging it in. Yeah. You don't know if it stopped. We'll see shortly, but 11-3 now, the lead is expanded. As we are winding down here at the Hawks Invitational, Eric Pate, along with Kyle Collison and Ryan Elke, we have enjoyed this. I know I have.
Nothing's better than a Saturday tournament in the gym.
And then running into Coach Grant McKenzie, Henry Ford College, he was extremely excited with the turnout of all of these wrestlers, and that's it. That is it.
Yeah, Will Vernier takes this match. We get the riding time point added on, so he wins 12-4 over Malik Kelly.
And, you were looking down. Vernier just pointed up here. He shook hands and did the customary pointing at the broadcast booth.
I have to keep my eyes out next
that.
time. So.
I absolutely enjoy the fact that these guys enjoyed the coverage that they're receiving today as we got to, as Kyle has said, the Muskegon on Muskegon crime here on Mat 1. And
as for Henry Ford wrestlers coming up, Sheikmeyer is in the hole on Mat 1, so he'll be up in just a few matches. And Von Petty's actually on deck on Mat 1. So we'll have some Henry Ford wrestlers coming up here on Mat 1 after this match between Jimenez and Sampson and Muskegon wraps up.
So what, 184-pounder Sadiq Sheikmiri and who else?
Von Petty is coming up next at 174.
174. And we want to see Von Petty redeem himself.
Well, Petty, he had the he had the walk-off win over Spiller here that's wrestling on mat 2. So see if Petty can keep that magic alive in his next match.
So today, Von Petty is what? What is he? Is he 1-1 or 2-1?
Let me look that up real quick.
And
Von Petty's 2-0 today.
2-0.
Yeah, he's got the walk-off win over Spiller in match 1. Then he beat Kaharovic 7-4 in match 2. So if he wins this match, I believe he will be the 174 champion of the Hawks Invite.
And Coach McKenzie said there wouldn't be any award ceremony afterwards because, quite frankly, teams want to get in and get out. They want to get back home. I know that Ancilla College, they coming up from Indiana. So they're in Plymouth, Indiana. So that means they're headed towards Chicago and more so Purdue in Plymouth, Indiana. So that's about 3.5 hours right there. Just glad that teams have been able to get out here, Ryan. I mean, that's important. You want to get your athletes some exposure, and you also want to get them some activity under these circumstances.
Right, and then trying to find other colleges that you can match up with has got to be the hardest thing throughout this pandemic. Because in a high school setting, you have your league where it's all surrounding towns. You know everything about what they're going through. In colleges, you have certain protocols. You have the ability to keep testing. So with this tournament today, it's just great for all these schools to be here and to get matches in.
I've seen wrestlers wiping themselves down with these sanitizing wipes, sanitized wipes and sanitizer wipes. And I'm familiar with that in my other career as a school administrator, but it has got to be a major adjustment for these wrestlers. I mean, or any athlete for that matter. The mask, the constant sanitizer on your hands. I mean, to wipe yourself down, you don't think about these things. You just kind of take it for granted, and this has made us more cautious. That's for doggone sure.
Right.
So, getting and winding down to the end, and some of the takeaways have been some of these great performances, the shot at the buzzer, as we say, with Von Petty.
We saw Decorius Cooper with a nice down 4-0, gets on a nice 10-2 run in the second period and finishes his first match off with a pin.
Is Asil Amudala, is he hurt?
I haven't heard anything yet. He wasn't wrestling today, but we did see some good matches out of Christian Gerber out of the 125 bracket. We saw some nice matches out of Matthew Burns before. He was unfortunately hurt with a very bad rolled ankle. Haven't heard too much of an update on him, but we've seen other wrestlers in that weight class step up and have great matches.
Mm-hmm. Well, interesting indeed. Everything across the board. There's so much that goes on to putting a meet like this together. So hats off to Grant McKenzie, the head wrestling coach here at Henry Ford College, and also Rochelle Taylor, who is excellence bar none here. As the athletic director, does a great job, not only with the wrestling program, but all the other programs that go on. And with all the protocol stuff, she has been right at the top in getting this place prepared to put on athletic events. So hats off to her as well as Coach McKenzie. So we'll
coming up here on mat 1, we'll have some Henry Ford wrestlers soon. We have Von Petty, who's going to be coming up next after this match of Muskegon on Muskegon wraps up. And then after Von Petty on mat 1, we'll see Sadiq Sheikmeyer have another match as well. So we'll have some Henry Ford action coming up here on mat 1 at the conclusion of the current match.
And then we're getting closer and closer to the conclusion, right?
I believe so. Looks like it all depends. Like, there's been different brackets with different sizes. You saw Shaquille Nicholson's bracket. He only had 3 people in his bracket. So he did his 2 matches. He won both. He's done. So it's all about just making sure we can get all the wrestlers all their matches for the day. But yeah, we're going to be wrapping up here
Yeah, Decorius Cooper, I think, is done for the day. There's some of the you could see some of the wrestlers have put on their street clothes and getting all settled to head out. But nonetheless, later on this year we'll have some more wrestling that goes on the 27th at 12 noon. I think that's 2 weeks from today. So we'll have that as well as some basketball action. But we have volleyball. The women will be in action coming up on Thursday, taking on Terra State. And here we go on mat number 1.
Yeah, Vaughn Petty up here on mat 1 with Kyler Kolk of Muskegon Community College.
So here we go. This should be a good one. Vaughn Petty, 174-pounder.
Petty 2-0 on the day. 4-3 win and a 7-4 win. A nice shot there by Petty, getting in quick. See, that's why football coaches love wrestlers, because that's a tackle right there.
It's a tackle.
That's just a tackle.
You took the thought right out of my mind on that one, Ryan. That's exactly what you're doing. You're tackling.
Now Petty, he likes hooking that ankle. He can work a cradle here, really controls what Kolk's allowed to do and really move. So it's Petty just working to stay in control, try to flip him over to his back and get some back points.
Trying to stay active here is Vaughn Petty. The Muskegon wrestlers have been.
He's got that chicken wing locked up. He's got the far wrist. So once he gets that far wrist and can roll it, he'll be going over. You just got to take big steps over the head. And now, once he gets that 45-degree angle, he needs to reset his weight. Try to get a little more chest to chest. Now the ref's calling for back points.
2-1.
So he's counted to 5. Once this move breaks, he'll be awarded 4 back points, unless Petty can pin him right here.
Petty trying to maintain the control. What type of job you think he's doing right now, Ryan?
He's doing a great job. He got that chicken wing over, is able to get back points, control most of the entire first match, or the first period. So able to get a nice 6-0 lead here, 2 minutes into the first.
And that strength is wearing down his opponent here in the first period. 6-0. Eric Pate, Kyle Collison, and Ryan Elke.
Henry Ford is doing a number on mat 1 right now.
And that's Vaughn Petty at 174 pounds.
It's good to see Vaughn bounce back, man. He's had a tough day today. It's been a roller coaster. Uh-oh, Vaughn's looking for the pin here.
And those Muskegon Community College wrestlers I think they've been the class of all the teams that have been here.
I don't think there's any arguing there, because just the technique that they're showing, and not only the technique, but the versatility in their takedowns. They're not hitting basic double legs, basic single legs. If you look at the setups that Muskegon is putting together, they're doing a really good job of chaining move to move to move to move, and that's a sign of a good wrestler. But Vaughn is getting at it with my man from Muskegon over here.
8-0. In the first period.
And then on mat 2, you got the guy we've been talking about all day, and Spillner, man. Watch those garbage cans.
What do you make of what Petty has been doing thus far in the match, Kyle?
I think Vaughn's done a real good job of, riding out top control. I mean, right now he's got his opponent on top of him, but he's done a really good job of staying busy. We haven't seen too much talk of the stall points from the ref as we get a stand-up here. I think it's a good bounce-back match for Vaughn. As I said, he's had a little bit of a tough day today, but he's looking good right now against his opponent from Muskegon.
Coming up on a minute left in the first period. Vaughn Petty, 8-0. And on the day, what has he done on the day? Is he undefeated right now?
I will tell you in 1 second. I'm getting my internet to refresh here, ladies and gents. All right, let's see what we got for Vaughn. All right, it says Vaughn is 2-0 on the day. He's facing Kyler Kolk, who is 0-3 on the day. So Vaughn's had a good day so far, but he's had tough matches.
Yes.
And he's looking like, as long as he can stay on top here, he's riding himself out to go 3-0. But, man, like I said, I mean, every match we've seen from Vaughn so far, he's had a tough day.
Scored 2 quick points there. It's 10-0.
His opponent's got to be careful of that 15-0 clip, which is Dunzo, end of story.
A lot of the wrestlers, as I look around, are getting ready to get out of here as we're wrapping up.
Yeah, man, as we were checking out those pizzas down there, they were telling us we've only got a few matches left, but boy, have we had an action-packed day of wrestling.
10-0. Vaughn Petty heading into the second period. And let's see if Vaughn can wrap this up with either a pin or that 15-0. As we start the second period, starts on the bottom. Vaughn Petty does.
Vaughn's got to keep a good base here. Look at him turn back into him. Good job by Vaughn. His opponent was trying to pick him up and take his vertical base away. Vaughn did a good job of turning back into his opponent, looking for that takedown, but he's got to watch out for this front face lock. Good reversal from Petty. Way to stay active and busy.
And that's going to be the key as we move 1:28 left and counting in the second period. Do wrestlers prefer round or period?
I think they go by periods. I'm used to calling it rounds. Forgive me. Forgive me, ladies and gents. I'm used to the boxing and MMA realm, but
Kyle, do you, man? Do you? It's been great all day.
I appreciate you, sir.
Learned a lot.
Just trying to learn from the vets over here.
Hey, learned a lot and have really enjoyed it.
Try to bring you guys a little flavor that you aren't used to. You know, bring you a little bit of pro wrestling, bring you a little bit of MMA, and, of course, what you're here to see, Henry Ford wrestling.
Vaughn Petty
putting on a clinic, 10-0 over his opponent right now.
And I ran into Coach McKenzie, as I was telling Ryan, and he seemed to be pretty pleased with his effort, with the effort of his team. And, of course, he was thankful for the teams that have shown up to be a part of this Hawks Invitational. Takes a lot to pull one of these off. And hats off to Coach McKenzie as well as Rochelle Taylor, the AD here at Henry Ford College.
I mean, it's hard for Grant. I mean, there's a lot that Grant can build on. I mean, obviously not quite the showing that we wanted to see from Henry Ford, but I mean, as we've mentioned in every match that we've called so far, I mean, Henry Ford has really came out to play. They've showed they've got the dog in them. And, I mean, from being somebody that's been on the side of a mat and helping coach a guy in a match, that's what you want to see, a guy that's getting after it. You know, he's not getting lazy. These guys aren't quitting. I mean, there's a lot to work on when you get back to practice, when you have a canvas like that with guys who are getting after it. I mean, you can't ask for much more as a coach.
11-2. And that's 12-2 is going to be the final.
12-2, Vaughn Petty getting the dub.
And that's a nice showing for Henry Ford's 174-pounder. He finishes the day 3-0. Not bad at all.
Not at all. 3-0 clip to end the day is never a bad day. And we've got more Henry Ford coming to mat 1.
Sadiq Shikmiri.
The Sheik.
And you've already given that name, as we said
Sheik,
earlier.
Man.
And he's had kind of a tough day.
He has. Another one where he's been very scrappy. He's taking on Joshua White, who's also 0-2. Who's going to get the first dub here, ladies and gents?
Someone's O must
Or no,
go.
I take that back. Sadiq is 1-1. I lied. Misread the thing. Sadiq's already got one. Let's see if his opponent's going to lose that O, but I think the Sheik might have him covered.
That's it. And how are we looking in terms of the remainder of the day?
I mean, when we were down there checking out the pizza room, they said we've only got about 5 matches left, so there's not a whole lot of action left on the card.
And I think that's nice. Hats off again to Athletic Director Rochelle Taylor, because we were wondering where our next meal would come from. We got the answer.
Hey, free pizza is never a bad thing, and I will not turn it down. Just saying.
And I've been around a lot of media rooms covering professional, college, high school sports. And that pizza today ranks right up there. It's
Hey.
A1.
I'm not mad at it.
I think our production crew liked it too. They're smiling underneath their mask. I love it. They love it. I love it. Good job on the production today as well as we wind this down. Sheik Miri up 2-0 in the first period. And as we talked earlier, there was an injury. Matthew Burns in the hospitality room, they were saying that Burns, they said it was his knee.
I thought so. It could have been his knee on that
But
one.
then, of course, Ryan said he thought it might be his ankle.
It could be both. It looks like he's down below us, icing his ankle. So, but again, when you're rolling an ankle, that knee's not too far behind when you're rolling your leg.
What happened here? I mean, is that a pin? Did we miss it?
It looks so. Looks like it.
Yeah. We missed it. Well, we were talking about an injury, but I don't.
They saw it. They're watching, so they saw Sheik Meyer get the win.
Sheik Miri gets the win there on a pin.
The Sheik.
And we've got these two matches that don't involve Henry Ford wrestlers. So while we have this time, let's kind of get some more thoughts about what we have on deck, and then we'll talk about some of the things we've observed thus far.
Well, on deck, I think for Henry Ford, we might be done with matches for today. We only have a couple matches left, so you guys talk amongst what the day is. I'm going to go see where everyone kind of plays throughout the day for Henry Ford.
Mm-hmm. And Kyle, as we do that, what are your quick thoughts?
First of all, I just want to say thank you to Henry Ford College for bringing me out to come check this out. But I mean, all in all, man, I think we saw a great day of action. I mean, as we mentioned, I think 125 is going to be a weight class for Henry Ford that is going to be one to watch. I definitely think those were some of the most entertaining matches. But then we've got guys like McVeigh for Henry Ford at heavyweight who really did a good job of scrapping out there as well. So, I mean, even though maybe not the best, overall performance for Henry Ford today, I think there's a lot of potential to come out of this Hawks invitation.
I wanted to see Seal Mudala, and don't know if he was injured or what, but in the 125-pound division, Matthew Burns, of course, he got hurt. Christian Gerber, those two were pretty scrappy from my standpoint, from what I saw. I thought that Decorius Cooper, minus the mistake that led to him being stopped, I mean, I just thought that he stood out. But if you had to pick one, I'd have to say Caleb Nicholson at 141 for Henry Ford College was the guy that was a standout.
I would definitely say he's got to be the standout for the day for Henry Ford on this one. Obviously, like you said, we didn't get to see a Seal, but I think out of what we saw today, I think that's very wise assessment from the vet over here, man. Like I said, he's definitely had a standout day. Like I say, Henry Ford really showed some scrap and prowess over here with quite a different array of competitors from all 7 schools.
Okay, well, I tell you what, Eric Pate, along with Kyle Collison and Ryan Elke, I keep looking down at my sheet because I want to make sure I get you guys' names right.
And did it every single time.
And so, Kyle, go ahead and tell us about the YouTube channel that you have. And Ryan, if you got anything to talk about so the folks out there can see it and hear it Be my guest.
Well, I thank you for the platform, and like I say, man, I am one of the hosts of Knockouts and Three Counts podcast. You can find us anywhere that you find podcasts, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, all those good places. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you can find us on YouTube there. We cover pro wrestling and MMA. We bring you everything from breakdowns and reactions to great in-depth interviews. But I know we say we cover wrestling, MMA, and boxing, but we get you behind the scenes. You get to know a little bit about the people. For instance, we just got to interview Mecha Wolf, a guy out of Puerto Rico, who obviously you're going to think of wrestling right away, but his first name was Hammett after Kirk Hammett from Metallica. So we got into the top 5 Metallica songs of all time. So listening to our show, you're not going to just get wrestling, MMA, boxing, whatever it might be. There's a wide range of different things. And as we mentioned, the Diamond Cutter, you can check out Diamond Dallas Page on that channel as well. And hopefully I'll be back here to call some more Henry Ford Hawks action in the near future.
Okay, well, Ryan.
Yeah, as for me, I'm a producer, co-host on the radio show X's and Bros with Anthony Bellino. We air in Grand Rapids, Toledo, Kalamazoo, up in Traverse City. So we're all over the state of Michigan. We cover, we cover the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, Michigan and Michigan State. Dip into the Ohio sports as well, on in Toledo. And listen live on stations or listen live at MichiganSportsNetwork.com. We're live 6 to 9 in the morning every single day, Monday through Friday on Comcast 900. So if you're an Xfinity cable user, tune on Comcast 900. You'll see us there every morning talking about your favorite sports.
And since you've given us a kind of a scope of hey, where you're being heard all over the state, what did you think, Ryan, of some of the other schools minus Henry Ford College today?
Muskegon has been very impressive. Again, I've talked to the Muskegon crowd a lot, but they've come out very off the whistle, ready to go. And so they've been a very well-prepared program, and it kind of looks like we're wrapping up here.
Well,
I just want to run through, too. I found out all our placers, too. 125, Christian Gerber finished second. Darius Cooper, second at 133. Shaquille Nicholson, first in the 141. Elijah Kidder finished third. Shaquille Kelly, fourth. Vaughn Petty first, and Sheik Miri finished second in his weight class. So a great day for placing for the Henry Ford Hawks.
Well, mat number 1 is being rolled up. So, Kyle, give us some of your final thoughts.
All in all, man, I feel like everybody got at it. I think it's going to give them a good starting point to know where they're at for this season. I think we got to see where Henry Ford goes out of this one. But as mentioned, I mean, I've been saying it the whole time. Muskegon really is the one that stuck out to me with their takedowns. But Henry Ford, like you've said all day, Eric, has been real scrappy. So I'm really excited to see what we got from the Hawks going forward.
Well, for Ryan Elke and Kyle Collison, I'm Eric Pate. We've had a blast. This has been a lot of fun here at the Athletic Memorial Building. Just going to say, don't forget Thursday night we've got women's volleyball, where the Henry Ford College Hawks are going to take on Terra State. At that time for the first serve will be 7 p.m. So make sure you tune in on YouTube and also the Henry Ford College website, the live stream. So for Ryan Elke and Kyle Collison, I'm Eric Pate saying so long, everyone, from the Hawks Invitational.
Peace.